what is that like? Is this is
it
there
real?
No, is there a language or anything on your show that, like, if I say the F word?
I thought you were asking, we speak English.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, well, I would
didn't we
assume.
speak the language?
I mean, you can speak Indian if you want.
Oh, cool.
You can speak whatever language you want to speak. It's funny because no one ever asks me, and I feel like I usually end up breaking the seal at some point. I just drop a fuck out of nowhere. They're like, "Oh, that's allowed here."
Right.
Well, because I would never ask. I'd probably just swear. I'd probably go somewhere and just swear.
So I don't know.
I'd be on the morning news. I'd just fucking swear.
You've heard of Hawkwinds, right?
Oh yeah. Jack Dwyer.
Yeah. So
Jack Dwyer and the other guy's name.
Johnny Cinci.
Yeah.
Or Jay Cinci, I think that was it. But when I did the show, because they had a show before, there was Flabby Hoffman.
Jay Smooth is, I think, who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But
I've known him since high school, so I know his actual name.
You're dead naming him is what you're doing.
Yeah, dead name. But no, the show before that, before they came in, there was 2 other people that were there before them. But Flabby Hoffman, like, I was on there and I didn't know if we could swear or whatnot. And I just hated getting, like, I'd slip an F-bomb and then they're just, like, making me look like the asshole on the air, going, like, I didn't know they could swear,
Oh, what did they do?
They're just like, well, come on, man, do you have any kind of decency? Like, what the fuck?
They said that. I'd be like, no, I don't.
I didn't fucking know.
You invited me.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And it's like, and you're the one who wants to do a fucking podcast at 8:30 in the morning on a Sunday. It's like, fuck you, man. Like, we just played a show at midnight the night before.
Yeah.
And it was... Yeah,
I feel like the whole swearing thing is stupid to begin with. I mean, if we're like, compare USA to other countries, and other countries don't. I don't even think they do that. I think they don't care if you swear on television.
I think to a certain extent,
or at least they're a lot more lenient.
Yeah.
Whereas America, it's past 11 p.m. or something, you can start to swear, and then of course you'll have different. Like if you're a family-friendly program, that's different. But like, why blanket the entire television network with no swearing? I mean, that's why one thing I think about is if you watch are you familiar with Breaking Bad? You watched that show?
I watched it when it was out. Yeah.
Okay, so the first season was made for HBO, and they were like, I think for the most part the whole season, but maybe it's the first 4 or 5 episodes. I don't know, maybe up to like the episode Cancer Man, which is I think is 4, but it's all made for all these different networks. It wasn't AMC yet, so there's more swearing in the first season than there is in any of the other seasons.
Right.
And then every other season after that, it's like 1 F-bomb per season, and you can even like you're kind of waiting for it once you realize that's how it works. Like season 5, you're like, where is it? Season 4 probably is the best one. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen the show, but IFT, I can say that much. That's the name of the episode. Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
IFT. It's like she says it at the very end of the episode. She walks inside. He's making dinner. He's like, hey, he's trying to like look good. You know what I'm talking about? Right. Is this making sense to you?
It's making sense.
Okay, because I don't want to spoil. I'm trying my best not to spoil it. It's such a good one. It's the best F-bomb of the whole show. That one, and also Hank's final F-bomb. Yeah. Is you got any final words? Go fuck yourself.
So during that time, and I'm like, I'm now just realizing, hey, the show has already started.
Yeah, that's how podcasts work. It's like, wait, are we really doing this?
I'm like, usually they do their spiel, like, hey, this is my podcast, and
well, so, you know what? I do it if I have to. That's how it works. I have a whole intro, but it's like if we're already talking, I'm like, why would I ruin this? Right. Why would I ruin this and stop it?
I feel that. No, but during that time of
my autistic ass, dude, I used to have to do the intro. I used to say, no, I have to do it.
Yeah, hold on.
3, 2, 1.
All right, let me rehearse this one again. Let me see if I get it right. Yeah.
I did it in front of the mirror this morning before you got here.
Yeah. That was why it took 5 minutes to come get me.
Yeah, I was rehearsing.
Yes. But no, like during that time when Breaking Bad was going on, every single one of my coworkers was talking about Breaking Bad, Boardwalk Empire, Walking Dead. What was the other show that was around that time? Sons of Anarchy.
Mad Men.
Yeah, all of them were out at that same time, and they were just ruining every damn show for me.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, even at that time, it was like, you had those people who go on Facebook to do a few spoilers, but in the, like, 'cause I was in the comedy scene at that time, and, everybody was talking about it. Like they would do their stand-up set. They'd fucking spoil a whole show for you. So it's like, hey, I can't wait to work a Monday open mic just for somebody to spoil the show I'm about to watch when I get home.
Right.
And
there was a comedian who did a bit on Hereditary, the movie, and the bit totally spoils what happens halfway through the movie. And I commented spoilers with like a sad emoji. And like there was somebody who replied to me like the movie came out 10 years ago. What? Like that's not even that old. I don't see. My thing with spoilers is I try my best not to spoil anything because I haven't seen shit. So I know how it works. Like it sucks when you haven't seen something and somebody thinks, oh, everybody's seen this, and they just say it. And like now you've ruined this amazing piece of media for me, which is like it goes both ways. It's not necessarily bad to know spoilers sometimes. Sometimes it's actually good. Like I knew the big spoiler of Fight Club. I knew how Fight Club, the big twist. I knew that. But I don't think that really even spoils the movie. I think it kind of makes it better. But that's not everything. Like I don't want to know. I would not want to know how Breaking Bad goes before I watch Breaking Bad.
Right.
Because that's what's so good. It's all these twists and turns and these moments. And I don't even watch trailers. I stay away from everything. I don't want to see the movie before I watch it. I don't want to see it because why would I? Right. I've seen, oh, this person goes to this place and they're gonna do this, and I already know that. Right. Why do I want to know that? I can just read the synopsis and I know everything I get. Oh, it's directed by this guy. Oh, it's this guy. I like those people. Like that's all I need. Right. But I've been like that since if I go to the movies, I will wait 15 to 20 minutes after the show time so I don't sit through trailers because I don't want to see them. Man,
it's like I can't be there 25 minutes early because I want to be 25 minutes late to see nothing.
I don't want to see the trailers. And dude, the trailers are literally 20 minutes. Like you can show up 25 minutes late.
But that is also a fun thing now that you can go to the movies and know that you're gonna be late and you still have like 30 minutes of wiggle room before the movie starts.
It's perfect for a guy like me.
Oh, because I mean, like as a kid, my mom would always, we're going to go see the movie, but we were always like 15 minutes late every damn time. So we're like coming in right as like the best intro scene happens.
Yeah.
And because we almost missed like when we went to go see Austin Powers Goldmember, we almost missed the entire intro of that movie.
And I've heard, from my understanding, because I don't know, but I think over time, it's longer now. Like it used to be the movie starts 10 minutes after the show time, 15 minutes. Now it's literally 25 minutes.
Yeah, because I've heard this thing that people are, they made it like a prejudice if you're against people that show up to work or show up to things late. Like, I don't have a concept in time. It's not my fault. It's like, you just show up on time.
So I'm a chronically late guy.
Well, so am I, but it's also I can just say I'm chronically late because you can get mad at me if I'm late.
Yeah.
Because you're paying me to be there on time.
Yes. So the quote that resonates with me the most about it, I think it's a Kanye song on maybe Graduation. He says,
"Oh my God, that's something."
Let me look it up because I don't want to get it wrong. I want to get this quote 100% accurate because it's it's probably my favorite Kanye quote. My favorite. It really resonates with me. Showed up to this. There's probably people listening and they're like, "Oh, I know exactly the one he's gonna say." Quote, showed up to this, quote, stronger. You should be honored by my lateness that I would even show up to this fake shit. Such a good one. That's how I feel when I show up late. I'm like, you're lucky I even am here.
Oh, when I'm late to get somewhere, especially like work, I'm venting about work, going like, I fucking did this and this and this and this. And then I show up and I'm like, hello, how are you? Like, yes, I'm late. But it's like that server in Waiting when she's, just bitching and screaming back in the kitchen, then comes out to the servers or goes back to the table and goes, can I get you anything else? It's like, that's how I feel when I'm running late for somewhere. It's like angry that I'm late, angry that I have to go there, and then it's like, turn it on. You have to be pleasant,
dude. When I'm on time, it's a crazy feeling. I'm like, wow, everything feels like it's like a sanctuary. everything feels so peaceful because I'm so used to the chaos of running late and being late. And I have heard in countries like Brazil that it's like they don't think of time like that. So if I said, there's a book I read too. I can't remember the name right now, but it was about how different cultures look at things differently. So it extends beyond, I think it's like socio-cultural, like it's something like this. And the whole point is that if they look at time differently, they look at space differently. And I think they were studying Native Americans and just how they form their ideas of that, because the whole point was, I think it was like a government thing, and they wanted to have a better relationship with these other countries. But these other countries seem to have this weird cultural rift. Like they literally couldn't communicate properly. I would tell you, "Hey, let's do this on Wednesday,"
Right.
and then you're so pissed that I even suggested that now you won't do business with me. The fact that I said, "Let's meet on Wednesday," because the Native Americans don't think of time that way. Like it was like they don't. When you say, "Let's meet on Wednesday," they're thinking, this fucking British asshole said, "Let's meet on Wednesday." We're talking right now. He could literally tell me. And it's also the way that you make deals. So like the way that they think about it, they don't want your money. They don't want, like, it's the way that they're thinking is different. Like literally the framework
mindset
of the mentality is different. And so it's crazy to think that time and space are like that even. Like what I tell you is a mile could be something completely different to you because the way you conceptualize from here to there.
Yeah, because like if you get kind of pissed if you're getting in a business deal and somebody is telling you, "Oh, give me a couple of days to think about it." And it's like, just why you got to think about it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm giving you the best deal of a lifetime.
Exactly. You know? I wish I could remember the name of the book because it's really interesting. Just the fact that like
it's not in the library over here.
It probably is somewhere in the library over there. Somewhere. Dude, I have books hiding in. These
I'm intrigued
cupboards.
by what kind of books you have.
I have a lot of books. Matter of fact, you can take one with you on your way out. I'm serious about that. I could find the name of this book if I look hard enough.
Probability for Dummies.
Seconds. Probability for Dummies. That was a fun one.
Is that like probability of like math like probability?
Statistics. Yeah, it's like statistics.
I hated that so much when I had to take that course.
I am the kind of guy who actually likes that kind of thing, but I think it's just because I don't know. I think that I think the book was on human nature.
Well, I mean, I took the class and it just became a 50-50 chance that I was going to pass that fucking course because it was like, my teacher was like, you're going to learn about, financial math, which was like, that's really great. Statistics. I'm like, that's useful. And then he goes, probability. I'm like, okay, now you're teaching me about gambling.
What is probability?
It's basically like a roulette wheel, knowing the probability of like if your number's going to come up, if it's going to be black or red.
See, I feel like that's useful.
To a certain extent, when you're going like in a math class and they're talking about like, oh, if you were playing cards, there's 52 cards in a deck, and now you have to look at the odds of you getting a king of hearts,
right,
or even a king in general,
right.
So it's like you have a 4 out of 52 chance.
I mean, that's how you would count cards, is probability,
right? But at that time, I'm like, yet again, so I'm not a morning person, so 8:30 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning. Learning about gambling was not my thing. And then my teacher he's just ready to fail me because I'm coming to him after hours to even like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? And, hey, am I on the right track with this homework? I don't want you to tell me the answer. Just let me know if I'm on the right track. And he's like, oh yeah, you're on the right track. Come to the day of the quiz. Failed. It's like,
yeah.
And then I found out that like, at the end of it was like, probability of passing your class, because we had 25 students in there, only 3 of them passed. So the probability is pretty low in your class, and he didn't like that. I was like,
the probability of passing probability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're really if this is your your bread and butter, you're failing a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
Because I recently graduated, so I'm like, I'm getting back into doing film again, music, comedy, writing, all this stuff. Because during the time being in school, there was no way in hell I was going to be able to do both.
Right. Well, what's the story of all that? How'd you get into all that stuff? I mean, you seem to be a man who does a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, I was doing music, since I was like 14, comedy since I was like 14, and I just always kept it like, okay, it's either I'm going to sing in a band or I'm going to do something comical.
Okay.
And I was doing improv for a very long time. Through Second City, I.O., The Annoyance, and Comedy Sports. And, music was just kind of like second nature. Everybody was playing an instrument. I was in high school at the time of Guitar Hero, so everybody wanted to make a band. So it was like...
Shout out Guitar Hero, rock band.
Yeah, remember those? And
DJ Hero.
Okay, that was very underrated. Not many people got that one.
I know.
But yeah, it became my thing was always making a band, was always like pushing, writing music. If I was doing comedy, I did shows almost every week, and it was really a lot of fun. But then it also started getting like, you're not getting paid anything to do improv every week. And you're going to like rehearsals, which you can probably make money at your job instead of just going to do a 25-minute set.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Because, the amount, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking on anybody that wants to do improv, stand-up, whatever, or music. It's just, there is a time it's like, man, there's a lot of rehearsal compared to showtime.
Right.
So much more rehearsal than show.
Yeah.
And... which is great and all, because you're still like, you're still getting to do what you want to do, but that period of time, like my last band, Nystrodamus, my last name is Nystrom, and shout out to my bass player from my old band, Rob, who was like, you're like Nystrodamus, like, because they had a singer in their band that, their singer just left. And it's like, well, we need to get a new one, like let's try out Stevo. And when I started singing their songs, they're like, man, it's like the Nystrodamus effect. Like it's like totally night and day,
Nystrodamus effect.
Yeah. And
wow.
So I was in that for nearly 5 years, and then just with having the thought that was always on my mind was, you need to go back to school. You need to go back to school. Just get that damn degree.
Why?
Because it's like where I work in the Park District, to get promoted, you have to get your degree. And I had so many credits already, and I just said, if I don't commit to it this time, I don't commit to anything then.
Okay.
So it's like, I can commit to doing music for 18 years. I can commit to doing, comedy for 18 years. Why can't I just commit to just getting this degree done in the year? Mm-hmm. And I got into an accelerated program and got it done in a year. It was the most mind-boggling experience because, going back to school to see what school's like now, like I had teachers that were like, oh, we're going to teach you art history. And you're going like, okay, this is awesome. Learning about all the artists that I've heard about all these years. No, you got to hear what she thinks of these artists. Like, did you know Vincent van Gogh? He was an alcoholic.
Oh God!
And did you know he was living in his brother's basement? What a loser! It's like you're calling the guy that killed himself a loser. It's like, who's the bad guy?
Right.
It's like,
I've never understood that. I just feel like it's a poor way to educate. Regardless of how you feel about anything, you shouldn't be placing a judgment on top of the education because the student then doesn't get the freedom to blossom.
The funniest thing I thought though, because this is for me to be like, okay, a comedian in this scenario is having a teacher tell me that, why I hate Picasso is because he makes tits weird. He drew tits really weird.
Yeah.
And it's like...
He did the tits wrong.
It's like, but it's Picasso. Right. What the fuck were you expecting?
Yeah.
It's like, and then the picture they show is like, here's a tit all the way down here and there's a tit all the way up here. And I'm just laughing, going like, this picture pisses you off? That's awesome.
Yeah. I had that experience. I read a book about improv, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take an improv class. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do it.
What book was it?
Truth and Comedy.
Sharna Halpern.
Yes. Yeah.
But wait, did you buy the book or did you buy it through IO? Because
I just found it. I mean, there's a bunch. They just pass those things out, don't they?
No, that's you pay for that to get into the classes. For the first class at IO. That is your requirement. Like, it's within your fee of taking a class. You get the book.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So no wonder.
That's why I found it, because people just read it and then they toss it to the side.
It's like what, 60 pages, 70 pages.
It's a good book.
I mean,
it's not bad.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I always found it funny. That book sales is a part of your curriculum, and you're going to call it a major success. It's like, no, they just want to take your class. They don't want your book.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like the book does more. Like, the book could do more than a class could do. So it's funny they would even give it to you and just like do that, because the book basically tells you everything you need to know. And if you don't have a good teacher, you're almost going to look more to the book than you're going to look towards the teacher. Because like that was my experience. I had a teacher who, she was all right, but I could just tell. What I hate about, and I've noticed this about improv in general, and I think it's just a theater thing. I don't know what it is, because theater and improv kind of commingle. I think it's like people have this groupthink thing and they don't want to displease each other, and so then with that bleeds into politics, and then improv becomes political, and then also they'll say like, you can't say this, you can't offend this group, and they'll start the group like that. They'll begin everything with, if you offend this group or this group or this group, we're all going to start. Recent? This is the signal. If you offend this group or this group or this group, we're all going to go, woo! Wait. And then that's how you know you've done something wrong. They'll do this kind of stuff.
Wait, is this what's happening right now?
That's what happened when I went to Second City and took a class.
When was this?
Last year.
Fuck, it's so okay.
Well, so I just knew. I knew from the very start, because the way she started it, she said, "Everybody introduce yourself with your name and then your pronouns." And it's like, I just knew that's a signal. Like, oh, so she's thinking this type of way. She's thinking in like, oh, we all need to make sure we're all comfortable here. But it's improv. The thing that drives me nuts is we're talking about improv. This is the one place where you go and you can do anything. So the one place where you have the freedom to explore ideas.
I am 100% on that with you. So I said this to somebody that, like, oh, why did you stop doing improv? And these are my, friends that I did improv with for years. And I said, it's crazy. I said, no more improv, go to film. Because at film, even that's even scarier in a sense to go to film, because it's now there forever.
Yeah.
Improv can be like 30-minute scene.
It's ephemeral in that way. It just comes and goes.
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's like I said, I make horror films because, writing a horror film is funny. Making a comedy is scary.
Wow.
Because you
wow, that's a great way to put it, man.
Because no matter what you think about now, like if you make a horror film that it's a weird character, it's a weird premise, it's a little bit of a satire, somebody's gonna go, well, it's funny because it's horror, because I'm a huge horror fan, and that's totally fine. That doesn't hurt my feelings. But if I made a weird comedy with a weird character, a weird premise, and a weird of a satire, you're gonna get offended by it because I didn't label it as horror.
Right.
Because if I label it as a comedy, somebody's going to go, but that's not funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could tell me a horror film's not scary, because there's a lot of horror films that I say, that's not scary. Like Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I still think Jason movies are not scary whatsoever, but they're kind of comical. Like, what's Jason Takes Manhattan, where he just fucking hits that guy's jukebox?
I think a lot of that horror ends up being comical in that way, for sure. Yeah, but comedy becoming horror is an interesting. To me, that's even more interesting. Well, I think a lot of people can associate horror and comedy in horror films, but to think of it the other way around is different.
Well, like the funny thing, I know you had Jerry on this show before.
Oh yeah, Jerry's great. Jerry Gonzalez.
Yeah, Jerry Gonzalez. his concept of what he was doing for Spaghetti Man is literally the funniest ideas. Like, I'm not gonna make a horror film to make somebody scared. I'm gonna make them cry.
Right.
I thought that was hilarious. It's like
Right.
that's a great idea. And
I think David Lynch did that a lot. I think his movies weren't even really horror films when you analyze them. They're kind of more than horror films that fall into the genre of horror. Like there is a lot of comedy even in David Lynch.
Yeah, and it's even like with I work with Alex Perez in Kino Productions a lot with the Kino Crew, and we've always thought of like horror with absurd makeup, absurd characters, be a little bit more grotesque, be a little bit more like, because like watching these horror films that have like, strange gore, strange kill scenes that make us laugh all the time. It's like, did like, even like looking at it in hindsight, it's like, did these directors actually make these to make us scared or laugh?
Right. And it makes me think too, with the evolution of horror over time, I feel like you don't see so much straight horror. And when you do, it's rarely not corny. Like, it's rarely not forced. There are movies that play it straight, but a lot of the time it's just mid. It's just okay. Every now and then you'll get a great director or a great vision. I mean, it's the principle in everything is like sequelitis. Like, rarely is a sequel going to be good. But I feel like if you have like the first movie of a horror franchise, every now and then it'll be so good. Like, I want to say Insidious. The first Insidious was good,
Insidious
but
was
everything
great,
else is just kind of okay. We're just doing it again.
Yeah.
And then but Insidious played it straight. Insidious didn't really make
Same
it
thing
goofy.
like The Conjuring. The Conjuring was very that movie still freaks me out watching, because I'm like, I remember being in the theater watching that and going like, this is done very well.
Yeah.
And it's one of those endings that, it actually had a decent ending.
Yeah.
Something that may last the test of time. But no, like when you look at these horror films that are coming out now, I mean, a lot of these A24 films, some of them are comedies. Some of them are just like are weird concepts.
Well, that's exactly what I was getting to. Is it seems like you see more people leaning into that now, like horror and becoming comedy. The other guy who did that Barbarian, and then he did Zach
kind of a
Kreger.
funny movie if you ask me.
Yeah, Barbarian. And what's the newer one? Barbarian, and then the one that just
lot.
came out. I'm forgetting, with the kids. They all run outside. Can't believe I'm forgetting. And Gladys is the name of the lady. Weapons. And that one I think is even more comedic than Barbarian was.
So what the other one? There was I think it was like Talk to Me with the hand. It was like a voodoo hand, and if you grab the hand and you count to 3, like you get to see a dead spirit in front of you. But the way that they did it is that it's almost like getting high, talking to the dead, and I'm like, it's kind of a cool concept. But also at the same time, kind of comical, because you see all these people like, whoa, look at that. They're tripping balls, seeing a dead person. It's like, the person that's pitching this is probably laughing, going like, wouldn't that be kind of funny? And they're like, yeah, but we'll sell it as a horror. Because I mean, you get a few pop-up scenes, but then you also get a couple like, this is supposed to be scary.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow, it's kind of blowing my mind, because I never really got the connection till just now. Like, I've seen hints of it, and I've noticed it, and I think it's always been there, but it's so much more prevalent now. I mean, you could even argue that Terrifier is
100%
totally a comedy.
That is 100% a comedy. Like, why the fuck would they say, now we're going to make a Christmas clown movie?
Yeah.
Like, that's 100%, like, how...
And I feel like it's the only way that you get people to not look at horror as... Like, people are just so it's kind of hard to satisfy people now. You have to kind of be meta about it.
It's gore comedy, and it's because when you see Terrifier, like, Art the Clown is by far one of the biggest inspirations on what me and Alex Perez were doing for like Gobblehead. Like, we wanted an absurd amount of weird gore, but at the same time, Alex me and him both didn't really know how to do makeup. We didn't know how to do a lot of effects, and he's taken it upon himself to really learn like what can be a cool way to do an exploding head, or because I mean we made movies that were, we were making our own puppets and stuff to make it look like a shit demon is going down the toilet, and
Christopher Nolan would be proud.
yes, yeah, we're extraordinaires, and then watching Art the Clown, like you're watching the first one and he saws that, I'm sorry, we're spoiling anything, like when he's using the saw.
We talked about this, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm not going any farther. I just said the saw. But I mean, that scene was beyond grotesque, but there's some sick motherfucker at home going, funny as hell.
Yep.
Like he's killing that dumb broad in the movie because, she did something dumb and he's killing her.
I mean, the Saw movies, they're just fucking littered with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, and yeah, what even is what is that? Maybe it's because it's so absurd. Maybe it's just the absurdism of it. Like the fact that we all, as you watch it, like it's kind of like wrestling. Like we all acknowledge that this is not reality.
Right.
Like I'm not watching this thinking, unless I'm a totally insane person,
right? Which
is rare. Like it's very rare that you're actually the serial killer that's watching that going, oh, this is awesome. Most of the people, 99.9999999% of people, it's like people say video games kill people. Like Terrifier is not going to make somebody a serial killer. Yeah. Because people watch it and they're thinking this is so absurd, like, and that's what's entertaining is that it's so absurd.
Yeah,
it's beyond absurd.
I mean, like I still think like back when we were kids, like watching or playing Grand Theft Auto, they were saying like, oh, that's going to make somebody become a killer. And honestly, it didn't really do much.
I think Call of Duty did more than Grand Theft Auto. And even then, it's like, it's almost better to have a release valve, I feel like, for those types of things than to just let it. Like if there's a kid who's all aggressive and he can just let loose on Call of Duty, just let him let loose on let him kill people on Grand Theft Auto. What's the harm in it? It's not like that kid's gonna go kill. I just don't accept the reality. It's kind of like, I think Quentin Tarantino has a great clip of him talking to a lady about Kill Bill.
Yeah.
And it's I think I saw this when I was in like middle school, and he's trying to say like, no, Jan, the thing that's cool about her is that she's empowering women, you see? Like he's telling her, he's trying to explain to her, like Kill Bill is not like this violent fantasy. If anything, it's like a feminine, like, because she's trying to frame it like it's against women. And he's trying to say, are you fucking out of your mind? Like it's pro-women. It was just some talk show lady interview. She's probably somebody that you'd be familiar with, but I just couldn't, I don't remember from my middle school brain.
Everybody check that out, Google it, see if you can find it.
Yeah, right. Jamie looked that up. But
this is one of my favorite clips.
For real though, it is just, it's so good, dude, because it's a great breakdown of that exact thing of like, you have these people who are all, oh, this is gonna harm young kids, it's gonna form people's minds and make them think this is okay, and then you have someone else saying, no, you're missing the point of the whole story. You don't even understand what the story's about, because that's what it really is. It's people who don't even know. Like the people who are about the guy who was leading that whole anti-violence video game thing. I remember when Bully came out. Bully was a big one, because the game's literally fucking called Bully. So he comes out and says, it was Rockstar again. So he's coming out and saying, oh, the game's promoting bullying. It's a pro-bullying game. And if you actually play the game, you know it's not barely the character you play as is not a bully. It's just called Bully.
Right.
That's it. But they look at the name of the game and they look at the gist of the game. Oh, it's Grand Theft Auto, but for kids. Oh, well, we better boycott that. They know nothing about it. It's like the Westboro Baptist church level of thinking. That's what's going on.
How are they doing?
That's a good question. You know what's crazy is when, like, I was talking about like people think differently.
Yeah.
I forget the name, but she was like the first person to really leave and have like a social media. Mary something.
Yeah, one of the main daughters.
Yeah, and it's so crazy to watch her talk about it because she's such a sweet young lady. And you just hear her say like, "Yeah, I used to just call people slurs outside of funerals."
Yeah, I always thought the mom like when I saw the mom on the news one time, I thought, I was like, oh, it's the actress from Men in Black 1, the one who's standing next to the pug at the newspaper stand.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait, that's not even them.
Good look-alike, though.
They look very much alike. But yeah, I remember I was like on a fix of watching, because I mean, like I always liked following cult like interviews or like learning about some absurd stuff. And I remember watching a documentary on them, and I'm like, this actually exists. There's actually people that like, oh, we're gonna just say God hates this all the time, and there's people that are like, just, oh my God, thank God there's a church that says this kind of stuff. And
I wonder how much of it is getting born into it. Well, that a lot of it is just being raised in that.
Oh, I mean, but in my sick mind, I find it kind of comical.
Yeah,
that's like, man, you really can twist these people's minds so well.
Oh yeah, I mean, cults in general are they're a funny horror. If you want to talk
like
about funny horror,
it's it's scary, but at the same time, it's kind of comical that you know.
I mean, that's kind of what Midsommar was. It was kind of playing on that. That whole like, 'cause it is silly. The whole thing is silly.
Just saw that movie recently, and because I mean, like I remember me and my coworker talking about like seeing Hereditary. And I loved that movie. And they're like, oh, but the second one, the second movie was all right. And I was like, Midsommar.
It's much different.
Oh, it's 100% different.
Yeah.
But
I think I liked it more.
Like my girlfriend says, the one thing, and I didn't really notice it until she said it, was like, it's a horror film done in the daytime.
Exactly. It's so bright for a horror movie.
It's so bright. And
I think that's part of what makes the first moment of horror, like genuine horror, so shocking, is because it's in broad daylight and it's like 30 minutes into the movie and you still haven't seen shit.
Yeah.
Boom, it just happens.
And then now it's just utter chaos.
Yep. And that's like the moment everybody knows, oh shit, like how are we gonna leave? Wait a minute, how do we leave this place? And it's a great. Yeah, it does. That is unconventional. Now you think, like, when do horror movies be so bright? Never. They never do. Like, it's so rare.
Yeah, and I when she said that, I was like thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I've never really seen a daytime horror film because these characters, they're literally. All this horrific stuff is happening right before their eyes in the daytime. They're experiencing everything during the day. Nighttime, you only find horror in nighttime if you went looking for it.
Right. All this stuff. Now I think about it, it's just like the movie kind of, that's the pacing. It's like, oh, they're going to bed. I wonder what the fuck's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's literally what it is.
Exactly, because like if you see like they're going to sleep, they're like
They might have like a little conversation. That's it.
And like think about what just happened today. And then you're going like, wow, you think in this creepy room that they're in, something bad's going to happen. Yeah. Nope. That's only if they went to go look for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really interesting how they think, okay, daytime, now it's going to get fucked up.
Wow. That is
It's like a reverse of Silent Hill,
Yeah. It'd be like if Silent Hill, all the moments in the creepy village are like sweet and fun, and then the regular world is scary.
Yeah. Like the regular world's scary, and then the world just starts peeling away, and you're just like, oh, it's normal again. Thank God. Hey, Pyramid Head. Oh, whoa.
Wow, yeah. And Midsommar, wow, why did I bring that movie up, though? I brought it up for some certain reason before we started talking all about it.
I think we were just talking about, like, knowing the line of like comedy and horror. We're in that topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in the vein of that, right, I think that it's cool that horror is having a resurgence, and it's cool that, I think it's cool that comedy is leaning into it. Maybe it needs to go the other way around. Maybe comedy movies need to lean more into horror. Because I've been trying to figure out, like, this is a conversation I've had many times in this room on this show, is how do you fix comedy movies? What the fuck do you do? Because they've been, I don't want to say dead, but I want to say dormant for a long time.
Honestly, like you do not like the last last comedy movie that came out was that guy Billy on the Streets movie, and he was mad that nobody went to see his movie because he was saying like, you know, it's because I'm gay or something. It's like, no, it just your movie wasn't fucking funny.
He should go teach an improv class.
Exactly, and it's like, you know, why make it sound like, you know, woe is me? It's like, you're funny, because I do like him on Billy on the Street, but why do you gotta sound like, you know, you're like, oh, everybody hates my movie because I'm gay? It's like, no, we went to see the movie because you were you.
Yeah, it's not even. I think that the movie industry itself misses the mark. The fact they're still even looking at ticket sales. Are you guys out of your fucking minds?
Yeah.
It has been streaming for the last 10 years. The record industry, music, they switched over like 5-10 years ago. They said Billboard is going to start including streaming. You guys still act like if nobody goes to see a movie in theaters, the movie failed. Are you out of your mind? Like, what are you talking about? When I was watching the people who made Mission Impossible, there was Mission, because they did 2 parts. So the first part was a Dead Reckoning, and then the Final Reckoning. So Dead Reckoning comes out. I liked Dead Reckoning. I didn't like the Final Reckoning, but that one comes out, and critically it did pretty well. Everybody nobody critically panned it. Like, did pretty okay. But it didn't sell that many tickets because it was right around Oppenheimer and it was right around Barbie. And nobody sees fucking movies anyways.
Yeah.
Like, it's a miracle
unless they are selling a popcorn box.
Yeah, right. Unless they got merch at Walmart.
Yeah, like I literally go see a couple of my buddies that buy those things, and I'm like, man, where the fuck did you get that? That's really cool. And
The cup, the collector's cup.
Yeah, it's
Those
like,
are
that's
awesome.
actually really cool. And then like I'll go see the movie, and then they're like, oh, we're all sold out. It's like,
I used to have the coolest holographic Spider-Man 3 collector's cup. Like, he would be red and then he would be black.
Oh, wait, was that the one from the Slurpee?
I think so.
Yeah, because I think I got Venoms from Spider-Man 3.
Those were so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, those were so cool. That's like a forgotten memory. You lit up in my brain.
7-Eleven, man. I still have it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I remember that movie came out, and I'm watching an interview. I think it's Christopher McQuarrie. I'm forgetting the name of the director. He directed the last 4 or 5 of those movies. And they're talking about the process of making the final one, the Final Reckoning. And they're like, yeah, the movie didn't sell as well as we thought it would, so we had to change all this shit that we were going to do for the final movie.
Right.
And I'm like, you guys are crazy. You really think that because the movie didn't sell the amount of tickets that you thought it was going to sell, that the movie wasn't good? Because the movie was reviewed well. And then the sequel, where they changed everything and they tried to do it different, didn't get reviewed well. And it's likely because they changed everything last minute and they didn't go with all the stuff that they established. It's a 2-parter. So it's like, it's as if you made the first half of something and then all that stuff you established, you go and Star Wars Part 8 it and just change it all.
Yeah.
And there's not even a Star Wars Part 9 to try to retcon everything. It doesn't exist. So it was just, and it was interesting to hear him say that because they made it all make sense. It's like, oh, so you guys just looked at ticket sales and thought that meant everything. And that's how all of these people think. They really think if a movie doesn't sell, the movie wasn't good. And so the comedy movies, it's the same thing. Like, he's going out and complaining, nobody saw my movie. It's like, nobody sees movies.
You know, like,
you have to be thinking about streaming. You have to be thinking about fucking turning it into reels on TikTok. Like, you have to be doing all that now. It's not even about the theater anymore.
And that was the one thing that was so stressful about doing music. Is like, you know, you're constantly making like, okay, I gotta make a post, I gotta make a reel, I gotta put this out there.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do it, I'm gonna lose, you know, traction.
Yeah.
And you know, and the thing is too, it's like how people are so harsh on judging like what your movies, you know, is your movie successful? Is it a good movie? Like what they did to like Chris Farley. Like Roger Ebert just said, oh, just another fat guy movie. And
what movie was that?
it was Beverly Hills Ninja.
Which is nuts.
Like, it's
'cause
just-
that's a great movie.
Yeah,
That's probably one of the better SNL movies.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly,
I have a soft spot for that movie.
I have a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm always been like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. But even they were talking shit about like what he did in Black Sheep. And then the poor guy is thinking that, you know, man, I'm just getting torn apart. It's like, I get critics. I understand critics because everybody's one. But it's like when it comes to like a comedy to say like, oh, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. It's like there's some comedians that I really don't find funny, but it's all up to you. Like, will I ever say Medea's funny? there's some Medea bits that make me laugh, but then the other stuff makes me like, how did we just go from, talking like, I'm not going to go to prison, then to somebody going like, I had an abortion. It's like, what the fuck kind of comedy is this? It's like, it just went from like over the top grandma and then goes to a teenage daughter that's like, I was raped. And it's like,
it's a movie for everybody.
It's like, damn, what the fuck, Tyler Perry? What is this kind of comedy you write?
What are you doing, dude?
Like, you just like, you go from like, and this is like when you teach an improv, it's going like, we just want to go, like, we want to gradually go up.
Yeah.
We don't want to just go straight to the 10.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is just like, something horrific happens to this poor little girl.
Yeah.
And then Medea's like, I'm going to save it.
I've learned the best thing I can do when I see something that doesn't resonate with me. And really, I learned this through music because I don't want to be like a hater. I don't want to be the guy that sounds like the old man that hates everything. Because I just try to say it's not
feel
for
like
me.
I'm one of those people now. I just feel like can be doom and gloom and going like, man, I sound old.
It's in me though. That's why I have to do it, because I know I'm a hater at heart, and there's so much stuff.
Hater first.
I think that like people have low standards, truly, and I think that greatness is rare, and I think that that's the way things work, and you have to seek out great things, and most things are always going to be mediocre. But it's not my job to say why everything's shitty and oh, this sucks and this sucks and this sucks. It's my job to make good things and explain why things can be better or why things are good. Like if I just spent my time saying this movie's ass and this rapper's ass and this thing sucks, that's less effective than if I say, oh, there was these good things about it, but there's this, and this. Like, are you familiar with Chris Stuckmann?
That sounds familiar.
He's a very popular movie reviewer. He's probably one of the biggest ones on YouTube. It's really him and Jeremy Johns. They've been doing it forever. And then there's a lot of other ones, but those two have been around forever. And Chris Stuckmann, he used to do these things called hilariosity reviews, where it's like him kind of like making fun of a movie, like a notoriously bad movie, like Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage or something. Or it's like, the bees! One of the best movies of all time.
CGI bees, oh my God.
But so he just goes through that whole movie and kind of has fun with it. Like The Happening, I think he did one for that. There's movies that are asking for it. And lately, over the last 5 years, he's changed his position, and because he works in the movie industry now, and he makes movies. He's a movie director.
Okay.
And he just made his first film. It was produced by, he did that series on Netflix, Haunting of Hill House.
Okay.
I'm forgetting his name, but that guy. And so it's produced by a big director. He's done a bunch of big horror movies, so it's kind of a big deal. And the more and more he's worked with the industry, the more and more he's leaned into this, to the point where now he won't say anything negative about any movie. And he's come out and said he doesn't want to speak negatively about movies. He doesn't want to if he doesn't like a movie, he's not going to make a review of it. If he just won't even review it at all. He only wants his channel to be positive things about movies. I think that's taking it too far, because now what you're doing is you're sugarcoating everything, and you won't even say.
I 100% love that you just said that. Yeah,
because it drives, and it's the criticism he gets online. It's what everybody says about him now, and it's ruined in my mind. He can't be seen as a critic anymore.
Right.
He's ruined his whole position. He's spoiled it, because he'll never say. And the tip of the iceberg is when he came out and said, what was that terrible Spider-Man movie that came out over this past year? It was with it was the Fox one. It was with the girl from 50 Shades of Grey.
With when Jamie Foxx was
No. It was the one with as soon as I say the name, you should know, unless it's like that bad that you didn't never
I've
even
been
cross
so
your
out
radar.
of the Marvel verse.
Spider-Man Fox movie 2024. It should pop right up. It's the detective one. She's like a detective.
Oh.
Dude, it's not going to pop up because I typed in Spider-Man. This fucking universe, dude. I can't type in Spider... It's a Spider-Man movie, but I can't type in Spider-Man. Superhero movie 2024. God, this is what Jamies are for. Madam Web.
Oh, no idea.
Oh, so you don't know about this movie.
Yeah.
So it's notoriously bad. Like, it's Morbius bad. It's so bad that like the people who made the movie miss the point when people talk about it because they think, oh, people are talking about a movie. No, the movie was terrible. And Madam Web is like particularly terrible. And so there's a million YouTubers, movie reviewers, everybody's hating this shit because it's so bad that like, and I think that there's people who hate watch things, but there's standards, right? And you can't have movies like this. We can't accept this. Dakota Johnson, I think that's her name. But anyway, so Chris Stuckmann then comes out and says, I'm not going to say anything. Like, he makes a whole 10-minute movie talking about or 10-minute video talking about how hard it is to make movies and how he understands that, like, he just won't say it.
Yeah.
And he makes a whole video about, because it was so hard to ignore. He had to talk about the movie. But and he even leaned into the fact, I think the thumbnail's like, oh, I have to talk about this. So you're thinking, oh, Chris Stuckmann's finally going to say something critical.
Nope.
And then he doesn't.
Clickbait.
And it's, to me, it is just, that's why things are bad. Is when you act like that, you are the reason that things are getting worse because you're a yes man to everything.
It's a really toxic trait. And I was just talking about this the other day. Is like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to point out something that's like that just doesn't sound right.
Right.
Or like and it's not like when you make an opinion of something, you don't have to necessarily go like. Roger Ebert went after Chris Farley because of his weight. That's why he said the movie was, it's just a fat guy playing a ninja. And it's like, that's really fucked up. You could just say, I didn't like the movie, but you had to call him fat. You had to call him all this. Because that's a different way of being a critic.
Yeah.
But for nowadays, you can just say, hey, I didn't like that movie because, over-the-top CGI, which made it distracting, or... the storyline didn't make sense. You can just say that.
Right.
You don't have to go like, and the director, he's overweight and, I saw him have a cheeseburger.
Because and I think that's why people go the other way so much, like a Chris Stuckmann, is because they see that and then they go, oh, I don't want to look like that. Oh, I don't want to look like the guy who's...
But you don't have to. You just say the movie sucked and this is why.
Yeah.
Or you don't even have to say it sucked. You just go, this is, I didn't like it because of this reason.
But it's the industry. I think a lot of it is like, I don't want to lose my spot.
The industry is becoming so sugar-coated and it's been that way for a while, which is kind of where I've been like, I don't care what I write, what I want to put out there, because you're gonna come after it anyway. No matter what, you're going to say something that, I didn't like that movie because this reason. Perfect. I didn't make it for you.
Yeah.
I made it because I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
I like making things that I want to watch. I like making things that inspire me. And if you like it, that's awesome. And, hopefully it inspires you like it inspired me. And, when people think that, they have to, I just have to shit on somebody's work because I'm that person. No, like there's, and I when you were saying about like sugarcoating, you don't have to necessarily sugarcoat anything. You just have to be honest.
Right.
Like, I don't know why honesty has to be, such a harsh thing nowadays.
I think of it like, because I am a people pleaser to an extent.
Oh, and so am I.
But I am not someone who's like afraid to say what I think about something. I've learned that there is a line you must walk. Like there is a delicate thing you must do because if you want to play along with people and you want to get along with people, you do have to do that. And I've learned from like it's the reason I can do a podcast or an interview or anything is like you have to give just enough. You have to give the right amount. It's why a good director is a good director too. It's because they know how to put just enough in there to where then you can give back to me.
Right.
And so I shouldn't tell you exactly how I feel. Like, you shouldn't exactly say, but I should say enough to where you get the gist of it. Because it's like, say you bring up a movie and you love this movie. Like, it's your favorite movie of all time, but I don't like the movie.
Right.
And if you bring it up and the first thing I say is, oh yeah, that movie sucks ass, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and you get turned off. You're like,
And just go,
I don't even want.
Perfect. We'll just we'll now derail our whole conversation because whatever I say, you're gonna say sucks. Because I mean, like that just sounds like high school me.
Yep.
Like when somebody would say, "Oh, I'm really into metal. I'm really into rock and roll," and then they'll be like, "Oh, I'm into My Chemical Romance." Back when I was in high school, I would have been like, poser, fuck you. but now.
And you probably just lost a whole conversation.
I lost the whole conversation because of being that way. And, and then over the time, I'm like, even like, listening to the fucking classics like Johnny Cash. If it wasn't metal, I didn't want to listen to it. And then when I'm like at this age and, for the last like decade, I've been listening to that stuff and going like, man, I'm really missed out.
Right.
Like I missed out on like having a conversation with somebody that was like listening to Johnny Cash, and I also missed out on a conversation that listened to like My Chemical Romance because I thought I was too fucking cool with my own taste to accept somebody else's.
Yeah.
And that was like one of my favorite like reflections of myself is as an artist to go, maybe not everything's for me. Maybe that, this style is not for me, but it doesn't mean that I can't, just blend for a little bit or even try to bond. Because I mean, I don't listen to like techno as much, but hey, if somebody was telling me about techno or like EDM music, I'd be like, hey, we could still still vibe, we could still chill.
Yeah. There's like a humility in it. And I think too, you'd be surprised how much everything connects.
Absolutely.
When you have those conversations, it's just amazing. Like you don't like techno, but there's elements of techno that you can understand and relate to when it's described.
I mean, there's songs
properly.
I do like that's techno, but it's like it's not my whole life.
Yeah.
But it's still like, somebody really likes it. Fucking go to a show.
I talked to a guy once, and I remember he told me that he was depressed for like a really long time, and he just watched Paul Blart Mall Cop every single night.
Which one?
I want to say it was the second one, but it could have been the first one.
Mall Cop?
Paul Blart Mall Cop, yeah. And he watched it all the time, every single day, every day for a year, and it was his comfort movie. It was this safe place. And he was so passionate about it. And like, I don't love Paul Blart Mall Cop, but I completely understood spiritually what he was saying. He was saying like, this movie is, but it could be anything, right? It's like if you had your comfort song, you had your comfort anything. Like this is the thing that I can hold on to. It's my favorite album of all time, my favorite movie of all time. Personally, I don't like rewatching movies over and over.
Right.
But I can't. But I can understand like what he's talking about. Like he had nothing. He was so sad, but he could watch that movie and just go back to that place.
I unfortunately had one of those VCRs as a kid that when the movie was over, it rewinded and started right over again.
Yeah.
So I'd be like constantly playing the movie.
No Be Kind Rewind for you. It did it for you.
Oh, it did it for me.
Nice.
And I think the one movie that was always I'd fall asleep to just as a comfort place was the South Park movie.
So on
like
VHS?
On VHS. Just
Is it that old?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I thought it was newer than that.
I think it came out in, 2000?
I guess so. I was thinking like mid-thousands for some reason.
Yeah, I think it came out in 2000.
Because that would be post-VH. That's late VHS era.
Could even be 99.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I know it was before 9/11.
Yeah.
And
that was back when Satan was sleeping with
Saddam
and not Trump.
Yes. Which honestly, when I saw that episode, I was dying because it was like, thank you. You finally brought that back because they did it to Saddam and Mel Brooks. Sorry. Mix it up. Mel Gibson, not Mel Brooks.
For some reason, you said Mel Brooks, but I knew what you meant. You know? I knew you were talking about Mel Gibson.
Juju hater.
And now Trump, Jew hater, Jew lover, I can't figure it out. It's somewhere in the middle.
Because I was laughing so hard because I mean, like, I loved when South Park would do that, and they only did it to a few people. Because I mean, they would have did great if they did it to Russell Crowe. If you remember that episode, where he's like, you know, time we must be going, no more Russell Crowe-ing, and fighting around the world. But yeah, it was brilliant for them to bring that back.
Here, I'm gonna pee real quick.
Oh, do your thing. This thing was timing your bathroom break.
Say what now?
This thing was timing your bathroom break.
Oh, how'd it do? How fast was I? Was it a minute or less?
Yeah, it was a minute or less, yeah.
Sweet. I'm a fast peer. What can I say?
It's not every day you get like a timer.
I don't know. I don't like that if I timed my bathroom breaks. One time I was at work and I took a long time in the bathroom. When I got back, he said, "You have stomach issues?" And I said, "Yep." I was just like, he gave me the excuse. Because I think I was just on my phone. I think I was just sitting there texting.
But most of the time, it's like a moment for you to get away from everything. It's like when you really think about a bathroom break, you can get your business done in just a second. But hey, getting away for a couple minutes is fantastic.
That's how hemorrhoids are born.
Exactly.
Literally.
That's literally it.
It's true. It's fact, folks. Look it up. But okay. So while I have you here, we should talk about the things that you do. So you do. So you have worked with Kino Crew, and you were in Spaghetti Man.
Yep.
So with all that, I mean, we're like, what was the experience like working with those guys? I guess one at a time, right? What was Kino Crew like first?
Well, Kino Crew, I go way, way back with them. So Tim Perez, Alex Perez, I went to high school with both of them, but I also, I was their teacher teaching improv at Schurz High School because I made my own improv club because I was like, I really got a lot out of improv back when I was in high school because it was a safe place. It was like you could say whatever you wanted, you could do whatever you wanted, and you know, just to kind of go off of what you said earlier, it's like it is that safe place. It is that you could say and create whatever.
I mean, that's what that book laid out so well for me. That's what resonated with me.
And then watching how the world just backpedaled that they just went, you know, like, hey, remember those quotes that were all over our theater that said, like, you know, that, you know, don't apologize, you know, building together, you know, trusting your scene partner.
No choice is a bad choice.
No choice is a bad choice. Because the one thing they always said too is like, you know, if you're saying a joke, you're telling a joke. If you're saying something out of malice, it's not a joke, which is true. It's like if you're really trying to be offensive, then is it a joke?
Right.
Like, or if you're telling an offensive joke, you know, it's kind of...
And it's the same principle as, like, to act in favor of a scene rather than, like, stealing a scene and then making it about whatever your preconception is. You're going in with preconceived ideas. So you shouldn't be doing that.
And it's really crazy that, you know, back in high school, that's not that long ago, to go, like, I could have said, you know, anything and everybody would almost be on the same page. Mm-hmm. Everybody would have been like, yeah, fuck yeah. You know, we can laugh at something absurd.
Yeah.
We can laugh at a weird character. Or, you know, shit, even like the hardest thing now, an accent. It's like you can't even laugh at an accent anymore.
Yeah. R.I.P. Apu.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. It's like watching how that just declined was very tough. But like when me and Alex and Tim were, you know, starting off, because I was, you know, I was doing improv and Alex was doing film, and he was saying, like, you know, I wanted to make horror films and make comedies, which, yeah, two of my favorite things. And the first one we ever did was I was a Teenage Cthulhu, which was only a trailer, like maybe 2 minutes long, and we just played like a H.P. Lovecraft cult that, you know, sees this Teenage Cthulhu. And it was, honestly, it was a lot of fun, and that was like the bug of like, okay, Alex, anything you want, I will jump in with you. And like we created, my first film I ever did was The Bowel Movement, which I said, if you're going to make your first film, it's got to be a shit film. So The Bowel Movement is, you're going to be your shit film. You know, like at least you can say like, hey, I tried, and then, you know, but so we went every direction. We're like, okay, we're gonna go John Waters with it. You know, we're gonna get drag queens. We're going to get, you know, fat guys and you know, in low cut shirts, because I said, like, in my vision was, in this world, tubby men are the Hooters. You know, like, chicks dig chubby guys.
Okay.
And I called it, and I called my restaurant bar Tubby Tummy Tuesdays.
Okay.
And
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
yeah, because I'm like, this is the way I think. It's like, you know, what if in a world that, you know, you saw a chubby guy and the girl's like, ooh, I want him, and then you see the Greek sculpture guy walk past and they're just like, ew.
Yeah.
Because I had a guy that was actually, it's really sad. It was a very good friend of mine. I brought him on that set, and he's like, this is weird, because like people were bringing like dildos onto the set, and now it's all these like half naked chubby guys. Tim Perez has a ball gag in his mouth. And then after that, because he didn't really even know what the script was, so he shows up and I said, I just need you to say your line, which is, you know, I wish I had a tubby tummy, and because he's like seeing all these girls all over the chubby guys, and that was only his line, and but then, you know, me and Alex really worked well with that, because he had a vision of like, okay, let's make something weird. And, you know, I made it about Belphegor, the demon of sloth, that this girl all throughout the day is trying to take a shit, but everywhere that she goes, you know, the toilet's broken or no public restroom. And apparently in demonology, Belphegor, you know, gets his offerings that moment on the toilet. So somebody 2,000 plus years ago wrote down a biography of this demon saying, hey, when you're taking a shit, that's when he gets his offerings. So I'm like, man, that's awesome. I don't even have to write this demon's character. They wrote it for me. And Alex was just totally with me on that. And after that, it became like, you know, let's do a short film about it. You know, he made one about Cottonmouth with the sock puppet, and I just did the voice for it. We would make a couple short films about like me dating a human head with Head Over Heels. I made a short one with Tim and Alex called Third Wheel. I don't know if you've ever seen any of these.
I think I might have seen that.
Like, Tim Perez literally just threw his improv chops in there and just killed us.
Third Wheel. What is it about?
It's about, I just thought of an idea like, okay, what if you went to a high school reunion and, you know, you're going to be hanging out with somebody you haven't seen in like 10 years, and he comes in with like his girlfriend that's in a wheelchair, and she's like a vegetable.
Yeah, yeah.
And for just a solid, like that set was probably about like an hour, but Tim is just throwing improv after improv, like fucked up scenarios. All he sounds was like, make it sound like you were the worst person in the entire world. And he's just saying like, you know, I killed a cop. You know, I saw the light leave his eyes, you know. You know, and then we were tax evading, going state to state. You know, I would hit her. She would hit me. She would threaten to cut my dick off. And the only line I gave him was just like, and towards the end, I just want you to say, and then one night I just lost it, and I said, you fucking bitch, I hope you get hit by a fucking bus. Didn't know she was gonna get hit by a bus, man. And just all of a sudden, it's just like, okay, that makes why Jaywalk is in a wheelchair, and it was just a goof. Like, me and Alex is just always a goofy scenario, and that's where like Gobblehead comes in. That we made that together.
So were you part of the conceptualization of that, of Gobblehead?
Yeah, I was me and Alex were. Like, we were sitting in his room one day and just like, let's make let's make a film about a killer in Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Gobblehead. And I was just thinking as a marketing going like, we make Gobblehead bobbleheads.
Gobblehead bobbleheads, yes. And from my understanding, Gobblehead was originally meant to be a trilogy.
I don't know if it was supposed to be a trilogy.
Or at least once the third one came around, it was a trilogy.
Oh yeah, I mean, at one point it was like, you know, are we going to make this actually a full length movie? Are we actually going to do this as like, you know, the trailer? You know, we're not just going to do trailers of this.
Yeah.
Or are we going to make it an hour and a half long of only trailers to tell the story?
Which is what it is.
Basically.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, Alex has a lot more on the say of like what, you know, from these last ones, he's been writing a lot more of what the storyline is.
Okay.
And he always surprises me too. So it's like when I say I'm like the co-creator, I go up on set and he tells me I changed the script. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, all right, so what's going to happen to me today, Alex? And, you know, it's like, okay, get this. We're going to have Gobblehead pulling your asshole out while you're getting seduced. It's like, all right, sign me up, Alex. And that's like, okay, what are you going to do to me now? We're going to feed you an eyeball. And now we're going to have somebody's neck guts pouring down your throat.
Yeah.
And we're going to be tied to a chair. And then this one, you know, the fourth one's not even out yet, so I can't spoil it. But yeah, that one got weird too.
Gobblehead 4. With what's the tagline? That was like the final serving, or
I think it's cold turkey.
Cold turkey. That's it. Gobblehead 4, cold turkey.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just seeing that's coming out soon. But then for, you know, with working with Jerry was, you know, and he sent me what I should do for the character of Marshall Mathers and Spaghetti Man. And I did my interview, or I did my audition tape, sent it to him, which I was very happy that, you know, he said yes, because, I mean, it was like, it's honestly a serious role once in a while. Like, I'm not getting my asshole pulled out, or I'm not getting, you know. But, you know, it's so crazy that I'm like, you know, I'm playing a serious role. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I get there and I'm like, okay, you're a deadbeat dad. Yeah. You're a terrible father. You know, you're just a scumbag. And
you're just a real piece of shit.
You're just a real piece of shit guy, and the Spaghetti Man is going to obliterate you. Because, I mean, like, on the set, I only got so much information about the movie, and I feel like that's where improv really comes in line in my life, is like, I'm the last one to know what's going on to my character. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll have a good idea, and then all of a sudden, it's like, we rewrote this, so this is what's going to happen now. But working with Jerry, I'll say, like, working for Spaghetti Man, that one was rough, because he even had, like, a guy that handles stunts.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, just practice falling down. I'm not in any way near a person for aerobics, for gymnastics. The stunts, I think I practiced falling down at least 200 times. So I'm just like fucking up my back, fucking up my neck, my hips. And then by the time I'm like, I finally get it, and he's like, okay, now we're going to shoot it. It's like, fuck. You know, it's like, you finally get it right after 200 times. Now let's roll the camera. And also, mind you, I'm doing this with a wig on and costume on. So it was just kind of like, it was a great experience, but it was like one of those moments I'm like, yeah, I just learned what my body type was. I'm not a stunt double.
You don't take bumps?
I don't take, yeah. Man, I was in so much, like, you know, the next day I was like, man, my whole body just hurts from doing this.
Oh, I can only imagine. I mean, that's not regular. This is the beauty of indie filmmaking, folks, is that we don't have stunt people, so it's the actor today.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I mean, and, you know, it's just, and, you know, like, in, like, playing in Nystrodamus, it was like, I was always, you know, being the front man, headbanging, jumping around, like, just pure fucking adrenaline. And now I'm getting to a point, like, you know, okay, tone it down a bit, or you're not gonna be fucking moving very much when you get to like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
So it's like, because I don't, yeah, like when I hear the story about like what Brandon Fraser,
yeah,
like when he's like, oh, I hurt my back and my neck so much for doing all these stunts, and I'm like, I don't want to be Brandon Fraser.
Right. And like you're probably not Tom Cruise. Odds are you're not Tom Cruise.
Absolutely not.
It'd be nice if you were, but you're probably not. I think Jack Black did his own stunt for Tropic Thunder. Like he rode the elephant or whatever, the hippo. There's like some scene where he rides a hippo or an elephant, and he did it. He really did do it.
Oh.
And I want to say like he almost fell off and died or something. Like there's some crazy thing, like because it's a hippo.
Yeah.
You think of these things and you're like, yeah, it'd be fun to do my own stunts. It'd be fun to ride a hippo. But then like in practice, when you fall down 200 times, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it anymore. Because I like to think that of myself. I like to think I'm Tom Cruise. But I also like, I'm 27. I know I'm 27.
Mm-hmm.
And if I keep falling, like I can fall now.
Yeah.
I can't fall in 5 years. I can't fall in 10 years. I can fall now, and I can bounce now.
I laugh at like the idea of if an adult falls, like when there was last summer I was playing kickball. I run a summer camp too, and I'm playing kickball and I lost my footing and I hit the ground. As a 33-year-old man, and you're going like, man, I just fell on the ground and that actually hurt, and you're going like, wow, it hurts so much more when you're an adult than a kid.
Yeah.
It's like, man, because I fucked up my ankle and everything. But, that's when you just like feel your mortality is when you actually fall down.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, okay, this is now getting serious that if I eat shit, man, I'm going to be out of commission for a few days.
One of my tricks when I perform, I save it for a certain moment and I'll stand on the stool because nobody ever does that, or at least when they do it, I don't think they do it the way I do it, because I purposely make it like look, because it's like I know how to. Another thing I can do is I can kind of like fall around, like I can make it look like I'm falling as I'm performing, but really I never fall, and it's just because like it's like there's an art to it of almost falling. It's
right.
I think you have to be loose, and so with the stool it's the same thing. You stand on the stool and you kind of start to move a little bit, like you want the stool to wiggle under you, so the people watching are like, oh shit, he's gonna fall off the stool. It's part of it. But if I was 10 years older, I don't know if I can do this trick anymore.
So what's the trick you're doing on the stool?
So I'm rapping and I'm standing on a stool, but the thing is, I push it. Like I start to kind of move my feet around. I start to kind of like, you're watching it, waiting for me to fall off the stool. Because I'll even like forcefully move so that way the stool kind of like picks up along.
Gotcha.
But it's like I'm not even really consciously thinking about it as I'm doing it because I'm in the middle of performing. But it's a trick that works, and it always works, and it's effective. But the day I fall or the day that I turn 35, I don't know, because it is a risky trick. That's what makes it work.
Yeah. And I'm really trying hard not to join the 33 club,
27 club. I mean, tell me about
you're
it.
in the tough one. You know who's in the 33 club, right?
I don't know.
John Belushi, Chris Farley, and Jesus.
Oh.
So, you gotta.
You got Jesus on your side, though.
Yeah, because he did a bunch of 8 balls, and
I never thought about that. Jesus was 33 when that happened.
Yeah, those guys were fucked up.
Damn. Back then, though, he was old. Yeah. That was actually old in his time.
I wonder if he had a death to his 20s kind of party too,
Yeah. Jesus in his 20s partying.
Well, they don't talk about it. It's one of my favorite Bill Maher bits is he's like, you never get to know about Jesus when he was like a teenager. What was he like?
Yeah.
Was he like looking like Jonah Hill in Superbad?
If I were to guess, it'd probably be like an Old Soul type situation. And he's fucking Jesus. He's probably one of those 10-year-olds who's like young Sheldon. He's just got it all figured out and smarter than all the adults. Just schooling everyone.
Oh my God. Like he knows everything.
Yeah, like dude,
God, his
what the hell?
teachers hated him. Like everybody in town was like, I can't fucking stand Jesus Sheldon.
Yeah, no wonder they nailed him to the cross.
Yeah.
Like 20 years of that.
I mean, he's a know-it-all.
Yeah. He probably was, though. Like, that's my image of Jesus. It's like Jesus ain't perfect, but he's like virtuously perfect. Like he knows the right way.
Maybe that's what that one critic you were talking about. He just didn't want to be like Jesus anymore because he was like, I'm being too mean. I'm acting like I know everything. I don't want to get crucified.
I'm gonna get nailed to a cross. Yeah. I gotta cut this out.
Yeah, I gotta be nice to these people. They're gonna crucify me.
Because I think if Jesus came around today, it would be the case that he would be controversial. It's the point of the whole story of the Bible, is that like Jesus is a controversial figure in his portrayal of virtue. Like that's the point, is people think they're virtuous, but they're not. Because if Jesus actually came along, you would nail him to a cross. That's the point of the story.
It's like it's always so fucked up too. And you think about it, you go to a church and you see him dead on a cross. It's like, do we really still need to take a picture of that? Like seeing, like he comes back and just sees like, this is what you guys remembered? Like, come on, like
it's my worst moment.
Yeah, can you guys like remember when I helped that blind guy?
Where's me as a teenager at a party? I had long hair and I look cool.
Doing bumps of myrrh.
Yeah. Like Polaroids of Jesus.
Yeah, it's like they make his mother look really nice and pleasant, but he's bloodied up.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of grotesque even.
It's like, and I always laughed at that because it's like, what Ozzy Osbourne would say about like, he was, doing theatrical, music, and then the Christians would come after him to say, oh, he's grotesque. It's like, you guys are wearing the cross everywhere. That's what killed your savior.
It's the worst thing you could do. It's like if JFK, like every picture you saw of JFK, his head's blown off. You're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's what you. That's how you're supposed to remember this guy? Yeah. What the fuck?
How else are we supposed to remember him?
Yeah. But for real though, I think I've heard comedians do bits about that, about like the cross, because it is a crazy. When you really think about what a cross symbolizes, Jesus would be probably triggered by that.
He'd be pissed the fuck off.
See that and be like, ah!
Yeah, it's like, what are you guys gonna do to me? Yeah, I came back and you guys are all wearing it.
Yeah, it's like we're a cult.
You guys are worshiping the murder device. So it'd be kind of like JFK coming back and everybody's holding a gun. That's how we remember you, JFK.
And it kind of is. I mean, it is crazy how death immortalizes you in such a way. Because every now and then you get reminded of such a thing. I mean, I think like the whole Charlie Kirk thing. It kind of is that, because I don't think that a lot of people wouldn't even really have an opinion about him until he died. And then all of a sudden people have opinions. And that goes for so many people. I mean, Mac Miller, his life, the perspective that people have on his life completely changed when he passed away. Right. Because before that, he was like, he was a budding artist and people liked him. And he had a career ahead of him. But once he passed away, it's like all of a sudden now he's this respected legacy that we can. It's just so crazy how that all changes like that.
Yeah,
Juice WRLD, all these rappers who die, and it just changes so fast.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to be nice to Cosby after he goes.
That's a great question. You know what? You're kidding, but that's a good question.
But I mean, it's like after because it was so crazy about like Ozzy died. The world was like in awe, and I'm a huge Ozzy fan. Yeah. And, but there's stuff I know about Ozzy that's really fucked up what he's done. Yeah. But then when Hulk Hogan died, they're all like, oh, he's a fucking piece of shit, fuck him. Yeah. And I'm like, that's one thing you remembered about him, but man, it's like everything about him is now gone.
And it's really just because Hulk's Terry.
No, I'm not even saying that, what he said. Oh, yeah, you're
I'm just saying his stuff is more public. His stuff happened more publicly. Hulk Hogan's did, and so it's just in the public conscious. People are more
was pretty public too.
Maybe it's just because it's farther in the past. Because like Hulk Hogan has always been. I think his presence in wrestling has always kind of been. It's spoiled since the 90s. It doesn't carry the same weight.
Ozzy had more power. Yeah, because he was in charge of a fucking genre. And, he had a great publicist. He had a great manager, which is his wife. Yeah. And his wife would not let anything bad happen to him. Sure. But, it's interesting. It's like, at one point in time, I remember even in Improv that there were people that were like, I love Bill Cosby. I love Bill Cosby. He's so funny, so groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And now that all this happened, it's like, you can't even talk about him in a positive way.
I mean, it's interesting because you see people. I read a comment, and I don't think it's true, but someone said like people wait for celebrities to say it's okay to talk about somebody again to start talking about somebody again.
Right.
And I don't necessarily agree with that. I just think I think even celebrities wait for celebrities to everybody's waiting for that because everyone's always there's this like unspoken social order.
Isn't it like so hypocritical to go like, okay, we can't talk about Bill Cosby because of what he did, but we could sit around and have conversations about what John Wayne Gacy did.
Yep.
And talk about what Dahmer did.
Not only that, we can make a movie romanticizing these people.
Exactly, and then go like because hey, at one period of time. Loved Bill Cosby's show, loved his stand-up. My mom and my parents had records of his stand-up sets.
Yeah.
And, and he was a childhood icon. What he did, fucked up.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, we can't idolize some things. We can't respect some things. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to say like, hey, go out
Harvey
and idolize
Weinstein.
what those things.
Harvey Weinstein's a great example. He did terrible things, but he did so much for film. You
Right.
can't say that those films are bad because what he did is bad. You
Right.
can't blanket those two things together.
Right.
Those movies are still good.
Be self-aware for yourself
Yeah.
to know that don't do the bad things, but you can do the good things.
Well, and understand that things are nuanced, and it's meant for you to learn from it, right? Like you take what you will from it,
Yeah.
but it's not as simple as good versus evil, right versus wrong,
Right.
this and that. It's just not that simple. And I think people just want to have a bad guy. They want to have a good guy. They want things to be
you're
simple.
always going to have a good guy and a bad guy. You know, it's like
it's what you are as a human. We form narratives. You have to do that.
because I mean, they always say like you're always going to have 300 million people that love you, but then you can have 200 billion people fucking hate you.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
those 300 are what really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, you can't please anybody or everybody. That's where that saying is there. But, like if you're trying to do something, like I try to live in a life that doing something good for somebody, being a good person. Do I have my fucking days? Absolutely. I'm a human being. And I wish people would kind of realize that too. It's like, you're human too. Like if somebody gave me an attitude that they usually wouldn't, I'm not going to take it to the left tit and go like, oh, I have to be such an asshole to you now.
Yeah.
Because you had a bad day. It's like, it's very weird nowadays that people just really want to take the victim stance. They really want to take being offended every day instead of just, kind of sorry, Taylor Swift, but shake it off. Fucking just get over it.
Yeah.
Don't let every day beat you up. Don't let every day be your downfall.
I really like the idea that reality is a mirror and that the things that you see in the
That's very
world
true.
are a reflection of you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see things you dislike, if it makes you feel a certain way, it's a reflection of you and it's a reflection of what you think. And looking at things that way is a lot more effective than looking at things like, everything's a reflection of other people.
Right.
Because then you're externalizing and you're never internalizing and you're never... I think that type of introspection is how you get to the bottom of things. Because you really do it... I mean, like, you'll never escape your ego. Like you want to let go of your ego to an extent, but you're never going to escape it. You have to get it. You have to identify it. You have to know what it is. And then you have to work with it and you have to live with it. And so figuring yourself out is... I mean, it's why they say don't date somebody until you've got yourself figured out. I mean, which is... I think somebody else can help you figure yourself out. But I think there's a...
But don't leave it all on them.
Exactly. And there's so much to that, of that just that inner work. And I think that the world trains us to externalize, like especially now more than ever. Everything is so external.
I've always looked at myself as like I think of myself as very complicated.
Yeah.
Like I think my way of looking at things is very complicated to some person that would say they're normal. I don't think anybody's normal.
Right.
Like honestly, like especially being in like any kind of music or art scene, if you meet any kind of artist that isn't out there, are they an artist? Because I mean, I like meeting comedians, they're way out there.
Right.
Their thought process is way crazier than you think. Being around musicians that are just hungry to get on a stage, way out there kind of people and personalities. And I, you know, I don't want to be that person to ever like judge somebody's, okay, you want to persevere and you want to really make it big in the scene, and you want to make your art go out there, and you just want the world to give you some validation and some acceptance. And it's very I guess the best way I can say it, because I'm being one myself, I just want people to just feel comfortable being who they are.
Yeah.
And go the direction they want. And I think I'm just going like in a segue now, just saying the same thing
Well,
twice.
I think like the improv thing, like it's this, to me, that's why improv, when in the truth and comedy, the principle, the idea that improv is foundational, because of the freedom of that, because of the idea that you should like I've learned that that's what I'm good at. That's why the book it resonated with me so much personally, is because I realized, so I've always kind of had that type of mentality of like, whenever someone says anything, or whenever I say something to myself, like if I want to write a song, if I want to create, I yes and myself.
Right.
I never ever I never do it. Because I'm not even built. I don't even know how. I can't do that, and when that's why it rubbed me so much the wrong way when I took an improv class and I saw how prevalent that was, and the more and more I spend time in this community, the more and more I understand that is a thing that holds the entire community back, and it's not just improv. It's comedy. It's everywhere. It's everything.
It's everything.
People just don't. I think it takes a leader. I think it takes people to lead by example, and I think that's why leaders are rare, because you need people to break out of that woodwork and break out of that mentality and be different and think differently, and that is going to be something that will rub people the wrong way and make people feel uncomfortable, because you are doing the different thing.
Yeah, because I mean, it's scary for people nowadays if they meet somebody that doesn't do the exact same thing as them.
Exactly.
Or doesn't think the exact same way as them, which honestly I don't agree with majority of the people I'm around every day. I don't agree with, what some people's way in politics or religion or, just in their daily routine. But that doesn't make me hate them.
Right.
That doesn't make me not want to talk to them. It just makes me go, we can agree to disagree.
Right.
That's it. That's all it is. And then like, in the comedy scene, when you talk about what you want to write, just because it's like, that's ironic, and that's where my comedy really comes in, is irony.
Yeah.
And, or take something like this and put it here.
Yeah.
Like it's like almost like, what's a good example of like taking one thing to another? Like, let's just go completely like 90s. And let's say we take George of the Jungle to New York City. What's it going to be like having a jungle man in New York City? Because I mean, that's just like what 90s writing was. And I felt like when people were, starting to get so sensitive about what was going to be put into a comedy, it's like now everything, we can't laugh anymore.
Yeah.
And especially in the comedy scene, seeing that, if like I hated going into a show for somebody to tell me that, women were never accepted in this community.
Right.
And I strongly disagree with that, because all those women's faces that are all over Second City, and not to mention Viola Spolin, who started all of this. She's the mother of comedy. Sharna Halpern, like these women, they were prominent forces. And I'm not even just talking about the stars that came out. Like, you know, you got your Joan Rivers, you have your Phyllis Dillers, you have your Gilda Radners, Tina Feys. And then you have the audacity to come in front of an audience to say, you know, I'm the one that's groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm the one that, you know, I notice that there is an issue and I'm the one who's going to fix that.
How brave, by the way.
How brave.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You're not the first one and you're not the last one. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's so many women in comedy that are from here that I was taught or even just want to see that admire or like inspire me so much.
Right, yeah.
I am inspired by so many female comics.
And then when you push this narrative that, male comics hate female comics, it's almost offensive.
Like, it's offensive to me.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, it's offensive to me because you labeled me as an offender.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, I watch reruns of stand-ups of Joan Rivers because she was so quick, she was so smart. And, you know, Toady Fields, I don't know if you knew who Toady Fields was, but she was also like really big during the time of like Don Rickles, Dean Martin for those roasts, the beginning ones. And they were just quick-witted and fun. But nobody's talking about them. Why? It's because they want to feel that they're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
That they're stuck somewhere. There's an oppressor and we're the oppressed. And it's like, why did we bring that to comedy? Why did we have to destroy something that made us laugh?
Yeah. And what does that do to comedy?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
because ultimately it's like you're moving the Overton window. It's the unspoken censorship. It's the I'm not going to say this because I don't want to rock the boat. It's not that anybody wrote down any rules and said you can't say this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's that we all silently agree that there are rules. And
not even like silently. It's just more like if you speak up, you'll feel the rules.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's kind of like, you know, it's people like to go like the Handmaid's Tale of like, this is what they're in right now. But it's like, man, if you spoke up at any point of something different, you're getting your tongue ripped out. You're getting you're getting whipped.
Yeah.
And you're gonna feel it.
And it's interesting too, because, you know, coming from Michigan, I'm from Flint, Michigan. I moved to Chicago. So
sorry.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Oh, you have water here.
Yeah, and I can drink it. Yeah. But being from a rural area and moving into a city, it's very clear to me that the way people think in a city is fundamentally different. Oh, my understanding of that is that, and this is my personal theory, is that when you have such infrastructure that you're surrounded by that seems effective, you then start to think that people know what's going on.
Yeah.
And when you live in a rural area, you trust no one, and there is no infrastructure like that, so you don't think people know what's going on. You don't trust anyone.
Right.
And so it was almost shocking to me when I moved to a city and I realized how differently people thought in a city. And it's an interesting conversation to have because different places go different ways. And like people in Chicago, a lot of people here don't like the comedy in Austin because what's happening in Austin is kind of, I describe it as
kind of they're more edgier.
And I described it as a boomerang effect because it's all these criticisms that we've just leveled, all these complaints we just said, they're all true. But then what will happen in a place like Austin is it takes that and then completely 180s and says, we're just going to say whatever we want.
Right.
And we're just going to do whatever we want because fuck you.
Right.
And that kind of becomes like a victim of its own thing because that's not necessarily great. Like what you end up having is a lot of people who are just trying to be as offensive as humanly possible. And it's kind of like to me, it's like bad rap music. It's like you're trying to be as vulgar. You're trying to do the most shocking thing. It's pure shock and no thought value. You want to find a balance. And these people, there's a lot of, but the reason they're doing that is because they're right in that they're trying to retaliate against this censorship that they see happening. So they're trying to reject that and go the other way. And I don't think either side is 100% right, because you get either way, you start to see low-hanging fruit stuff. Like you either see people get too offensive and just try to be mean, or you see people who just ruin everything by saying you can't do things.
Right, and that's why I feel like it's starting, and like this is only my, my experience of seeing it happen. Like I've been going to a lot of different comedy shows and seeing that the audiences are really not there. Like you're not going to a comedy show and being in a sold out audience anymore. Like, and I'm like I said, I'm speaking just from when I've gone to a show, like a Thursday or a Friday night, there should be sold out shows.
Yeah.
I can get it. There's a time from working in comedy theaters. There are times when there is nothing going on. There is, dead times to go to a comedy show, but not during the holidays. The holidays, there should be like people going to see comedy shows.
Oh yeah,
but
this is the time of year. Yeah.
But what I think is happening is people have made it so hard for people to go to those, because it's like, hey, if you go to that show, you might be offending somebody, or if you laughed at that. People are scared to go laugh somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, because, I went going to I.O., seeing, like, going to an I.O. show, there used to be hundreds, 200 people going into those theaters all the time. The last couple of times I've gone, maybe there's 40 people for 4 different theaters. It's like, are you now feeling the blow of being too sheltering?
Yeah.
Are you now feeling that, that you're being so accommodating that now you're going to start plummeting in profit because you don't want to be a business because that would hurt somebody's feelings. You don't want to say or teach something that is what it is because you're going to hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah.
It's like you're burying yourself.
Yeah, and these are the same places. Like if a comic comes in a town that's an offensive comic, they'll boycott the comic, and they don't realize they're shooting themselves in the foot
by boycotting them.
Yeah, those people who already agree with you are all going to be down, but you're just any potential audience member. You're churning them away. You're telling me you don't care about them. You don't care if they like this person. If they like that person, you don't think they're good. You think that they're inherently bad because they like somebody.
Because even like how you said, like, going into an improv class they're going to start it off this way just to make sure everybody feels safe.
Yeah.
Or feels like this is a safe space. Is it really helping that everybody feel like it's a safe space, or is it just something that you're pushing on me?
Yeah, which make your space safe.
Yeah.
Whereas like I actually feel somewhat threatened. Like
I actually feel like you're going to say I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Because what if I, God forbid, say something that you can't say fortune cookie because you're not Chinese. It's like, well, the suggestion was fortune cookie.
I remember that class. I think I went to the class twice because I was already rubbed the wrong way. And I remember the second time we did the game where it's the ad game. So we're all together and we all do an ad. And I think the whole point was it's for something that's going to help. It's going to be actually effective. It's going to help people. So I think I came up with the idea. It ties your shoes for you. So it's something that'll tie your shoes for you. And our idea, like, this wasn't my suggestion, but they train you this way. They tell you if anybody says anything, there's no bad ideas in the ad game. The whole point is you only have 5 minutes, so you have to go say yes to everything. So if this guy says what he says, oh, yeah, and. So his suggestion was that he's going to come in and he's a guy with no arms. Because if he's a guy with no arms, he's the perfect person to have this device. And so we do the whole thing. He's a guy with no arms. He comes out and the teacher says, we all did great. Everything was great. The guy with arms was a little problematic, but... And it's like, what the fuck are you talking? It literally makes sense in the context of the scene. It makes sense. So but that's what happens is she says that, and if the other people aren't as independent minded as me, they're gonna all think they're gonna take note of that. And they're gonna be like, so we can't.
It's fucked up. I would be that person. I'd be the one with no arms, and because like telling my students, like they'll do a scene, and then I will review their scene back to them.
Yeah.
Because, I'll say, like, this is what I saw, and this is what I thought was great, blah, 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 blah. And my students will go, like, what? And, like, your mind, like, you're thinking of, like, something that didn't even happen on stage. You were, like, already bringing it to another premise.
Yeah.
And, like, you already thought of another reaction that you could do off of that. It's like, yeah, because I'm not just thinking inside the box.
Right.
Thinking outside the box, because that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be looking at your suggestion as like the literal thing. Try and think of, like, I always tell my students about, like, branch out. Here's your suggestion. Give me 3 things that is not that thing, but what makes you think of. Like, if you thought of the color orange, what does it make you think of? Oh, the actual fruit, pumpkin, maybe a sweater that you had when you were a kid.
Right.
And be weird with it. Like, let that inspire you.
Yeah.
Or even that hat right there.
Yeah.
But orange hat. Yeah. But it's like, to have like these people that say, like, that was problematic. Like, I had a day with my students that they were asking about what is offensive and what is, like, problematic, and
Which is a good question.
And I said, like, for one, it's very difficult for me to say what is right and what is wrong. If you have to ask that, more than likely it is a wrong thing. Because if you have to think about should I say this? It's like, if you say this, one, it might be the wrong thing to say. Because if you have to think about it more times than none, it is the wrong thing to say.
Yeah.
But I always said in my class is that, and this is just how I think about it, is like, whatever happened outside of this room is not coming in here. Like, we are not in reality for a second. We are in a fucking improv world that we are talking about whatever we want. We are supporting each other on what we're saying. Like, am I going to say, like, let's have scenes that are completely like horrific and vulgar? No, I don't want to have us, like, literally having a fucking orgy and, all this kind of stuff. And not trying to be absurd. It's more like, hey, can you think outside of not making everything a dick joke? Can you make everything, like, you would just feel real for a second?
Yeah.
And, like, like how you said, like, the person with no arms, my mind would go that way too, because it's just irony.
Yeah.
Or it just fits well with this scene.
And none of us even had the thought of it being offensive. It was her that thought of that.
And I've had trainings in the Park District that say you literally can't say or all hands on deck. It is a problematic phrase that should not be used in the workplace. And coincidentally, whenever I was like, all hands on deck, really? That's offensive to people now? That's really crazy. And then my coworker that was seasonal.
Don't say you're putting your foot down either.
Oh no, holy shit. And then my coworker for the summer, he had one arm. And I was like, oh God. And of course I'm that person that puts my hand out going like, oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So it's like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm the asshole. I could have just, never mind.
I had a customer with the hand like this, because it was a server, and a customer had the hand like this. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to put the drink too far away from him, but I also don't want to put the drink right next to him. Because, is this something I should acknowledge?
Or am I an asshole putting a straw in for him?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I am an asshole, because he's thinking, oh, this guy thinks I can't do anything. So I just tried my very best to just, because that's, in my mind, that's how you should always do it. You should always do, even though, like, yeah, you might fuck up, but they're used to all that shit. They just want you to treat them like you would treat anybody else. Like, they already know what you're thinking. They already know. They've been through this a million times.
What? I don't have any arms?
Yeah.
Where are they?
You go to shake his hand. I'm so sorry. I thought you knew.
Oh, hands on deck. Ah!
Don't say that. Don't say that. All hands on deck. Wait.
No! It's like it's literally watching like what these new rules are, and are you fucking serious that these rules are what these are going to make the world a better place. If we don't say things like this, it's going to make the world a better place if we, just always agree with each other on bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like,
one thing I have taken to saying is that let's bring exclusivity back. Like, everything's trying to be inclusive. How about being exclusive? And what I mean by that is the things that you like, the things that are good, are their own. They are something of their own.
Yeah.
If you are always inclusive, you will never be exclusive, because you will never, ever, ever branch from that. I think when people hear exclusive, they immediately think of like somebody who doesn't accept things. But that's not what exclusive means to me.
Right.
And it is the opposite of inclusive.
Right.
So what I think of when I think of exclusive, I think of distinctive. I think of...
I would say that, it's like a distinctive, factor of that.
But you can't do that if you're just so inclusive. It's impossible. And so I think like life is all about making value judgments and choices, and that's what defines you. Your choices make you what you are. And if you don't make choices, you are nothing. You are nothing at all.
You have no voice. You have no...
If other things make choices for you and you echo them, you're nothing.
Yeah.
You have to develop these things. And so, and again, like I think all you can do is lead by example. Like you can tell people that and they can even agree with you, but they'll miss the point. You have to show them how to do it.
Yeah. Like I told my students about I really just think that being true to yourself, be true to what you find is funny, because honestly, I can't make you funny.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what's funny and what's not.
Or what's funny about you.
Right. Like I could say, like I have students that I go, you have this type of comedy that I like. You have a very dry sense of humor, or you are just very subtle, or you are very slapstick, or you're a very physical comic. Like you have to do the Chris Farley, I gotta break a table to make you laugh. And I like that people have...
You are a fat ninja.
Yeah, right, yeah. I like when people be an individual. Be, like, if I told... because I have a couple students that if they all were doing the same thing, it would be boring.
Yeah.
And, like, when I see them, like, this last week I had an exercise that they all kind of did a scene... separately, so they all got to have like an individual moment with each other. It's like, it's fun watching how somebody that just has a very quick wit work with somebody with physical comedy, or watching somebody that's very deadpan next to somebody that's very, very positive and very like extroverted.
Right.
And it's fun to see those mediums, and now... But everybody has to be the same now. It's like, no, be your own self. That's why we have the Jack Nicholsons in the world. That's why we have just name anybody in Hollywood. That's why we have movies specifically like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Why do we have Nicolas Cage playing in these kind of movies? Because he's perfect for that kind of role.
I want to say it's a quote they have up at Second City, and I want to say it's Picasso. But it's that a true artist learns the rules and then breaks them. And I think people stop at the first step. They learn the rules. But you're supposed to break the rules, but you have to know them first.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the rules were that there are no rules.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's Fight Club.
Yeah. It's like, well, I mean, like going into improv, I swear to God, I had a notebook that I called my improv Bible that I wrote down every note that I got at IO, every note from Second City. And just because I wanted to, for one, learn what they were saying to me and take that in stride.
Yeah.
And, there's things that I look in my book and I can't like share with my students. Like there was one of my favorite students was Mike Enriquez, God rest his soul. He had a saying that, you don't go from shaking hands to anal sex. No real conversation starts off like, hello, want to have butt sex?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny when you think about it, but it's like, but it's a true factor,
Right.
and because you know having so many people find that improv now has to be so censored.
Yeah.
It's almost like, how are you going to improvise that?
Right.
Like, I mean, even when I was at Comedy Sports, you had to do clean comedy. You couldn't swear, couldn't be any like too much innuendo. But I thought that was a test, because you can do whatever you want, you just can't swear.
Yeah, or be sexual.
But now you can't do really anything.
Yeah.
Because we're now, and that sounds like a political thing, but it's just like, it's your skin color.
Yeah. Well, they'll put it on the wall. Like, that's what I've heard stories, and I've heard comedians talk about this, and I think the clubs will shoot themselves in the foot, because like, I think Big J. Okerson had a story about this, where he performed at a club, and the club got upset with him, and he didn't even blame the club. Or no, the audience got upset with him. And he didn't blame the audience, he blamed the club, because he was saying, why would they even book me? Like, this is the type of club that is going to show, like, they know their people. Why are they booking a guy like me? And what I'm saying is, this is the type of club, I think that's part of the story. He walks in and he sees on the wall, don't joke about this, don't joke about this, don't joke about this. And I've seen this before. You'll go to certain venues and they'll say that on the wall. And it's like, if I'm a comedian and I have material I'm working on, I'm not going to look at your wall and then throw away all my material because you said I can't joke. This is you paid me to be here.
Right.
It doesn't even make sense.
And I hate that for comedians, because like, for those, and the ones that I despise right now are the comedians that are telling other comedians like, oh, that's not funny, you can't say that, but then you remember what they were saying.
Yeah, right.
And then you go, shut the fuck up. Like, you remember when you were whipping your balls out on stage as like, oh, accidentally doing it. Bullshit. You were being edgy, and in this day and age, you'd be in jail for indecent exposure.
Yeah.
And now you're looking at it like, I'm the fucking saint of comedy, I'm gonna fucking stand up. It's like, dude,
I call it Howard Stern syndrome.
100%. I mean, love Howard Stern, but Howard Stern, shut up.
Yeah, because he would be talking about his previous self. If he were to be critiquing everyone on the same level, he would have to critique his earlier self the same way.
Exploiting women to be naked in certain cities, to promote your show. It's like, oh, come on.
I mean, he was probably worse than a lot of the people he talks about now. Mm-hmm. And I don't disapprove of anything he's done. I just think the hypocrisy is what.
But that's it. It's like, I didn't hate what you did.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, but I hate that you are backpedaling, acting like you didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everything it's like, you're almost making me feel gaslit. You're gaslighting me that you didn't make me laugh for this reason. Yeah. It's like, don't fucking gaslight me.
Mm-hmm. And in the comedy world, it's odd to see people like drawing lines, because it's comedy. So if we're going to start drawing lines now, what if we start looking at you the same way? We could all draw a line on you too.
Think about this now too, is like, literally down the line, if you put this on YouTube, somebody can come back 20 years later and say, you remember when we were talking about this at this podcast? It's like, yeah, because this day and age, everything is being documented. Yeah. Everything is being said. Everything is coming back to attack or to make a point for somebody. Right. And it's honestly great thing here and there for like journalism. Like, you're really journaling a person's thoughts or a person's conversation. Yeah. And you're getting in like its truest form from the source. But I think when people are starting to get like, almost scared to like, even to speak their mind. Because I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of people that like, maybe we shouldn't talk, maybe or tone it down a bit. Because I mean, I had students that were literally, making me feel like I had to. And this was like back when I was like 18 years old and teaching high schoolers. I wasn't like a mandated reporter at that time, but at those times I'm like, are you okay? Like, you're talking about like things that are like pretty dark.
But like you said before, working with artists.
Yeah, working with artists. I mean, artists are extreme people. Yep. And I love them. I love them a lot. I think, when I see somebody that's out there that's really trying to perfect their craft, I respect that.
Yeah.
I can't judge. I was a guy that I would wear makeup on stage, or in my mind, dressing like a drag queen to play a character. Because I was always like, I liked Mighty Python.
Yeah.
I love Mighty Python for having like all these men dress up as women and have like such a fun scene together. But nowadays I would almost be like, can you do it though, or are you making fun of somebody? It's like,
Right.
no, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm playing a character. Characters are still things.
Yeah.
And I hate that idea, because I was just talking to a comedian not too long ago that was saying like, well, what you're mad about is that you just can't make a racist joke. I'm like, when the fuck did I say that? I just said I want like people to be able to play characters again.
Yeah.
Like bring character actors back. Bring voice actors back that can, hey, ironically, your voice can sound like a poo.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, that guy actually has a talent that he can sound like another person.
Yeah.
That's why they're there.
I mean, a lot of the stuff Jim Carrey would do in the late 90s, you could
Exactly.
is, he can't do that. We can't do that voice.
Right. It's like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop thinking that the person that's doing that.
Robin Williams, too.
Robin Williams, he'd be fucked.
Yeah, he'd be so fucked.
And
By today's standards, yeah.
yeah, so it's like, stop playing this like, okay.
Which is ironic because he's the most inclusive person of all time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of them are.
Yeah.
All of them are very inclusive people. And then you're going to, like I said, you're gonna make them feel like shit.
Yeah.
That they made you laugh at one point.
And again, it's like if the world's a mirror, it's not the person that's doing it that's doing something wrong. It's these people who are seeing that in it. They're seeing themselves in it. Like they have this hate in them and they're projecting that onto these people. Like you're the one who thinks that's racist.
Right.
And thinks that I think it's fun to do voices.
Yeah.
My childhood brain, like my 5-year-old brain, I just think it's fun to do a voice. I think it's playful and fun. And so for you to then take that and turn it into this this offensive, evil, demonic thing that you're trying to tell me I'm doing, like that is even strange because I've never if no one told me that voices were offensive, I would never have that cross my mind because I would think, oh, people talk differently and people can do the sounds that other people can do. I would never cross my mind of, oh, that might hurt someone's feelings.
Right.
Because what does it matter? It's a sound.
and it's fucked up because like where this thing like it went to like being racist, and I hate using that word so much because it's so overused.
Yeah.
But like because when there was you probably remember this improv game Conducted Story, when they like you could point at them and they tell a story. Like
you
improvise.
stop when they're done pointing.
And then you can like somebody gets eliminated, and then the next time you can say, okay, now we're gonna tell this story, but your accent is a French accent.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're gonna try their best to make a French accent speaking that way.
Yeah.
Because it was fun to test yourself to see how you can do in voice acting and improv, like playing characters. And some people would do it really bad. And what they would do in comedy sports was like they would like kind of X them out, going like, you're eliminated. That was a terrible French accent. Like next thing you would get them kind of sound like the Swedish chef, And but nowadays it's like if you play that, or if you do those certain voices, they're looking at it to be, no, that's just offensive. No,
Right.
that's just wrong. And I don't know. I watched so many improv shows, and being in the comedy scene for so long, I can't let these new people come in and just say, okay, you can't say this anymore, you can't do this anymore. And those people that have still been in the scene longer than I have and allow that to happen, they're the problem.
Yeah.
They're the problem for letting these not even open thinkers come in and tell you how to run your business.
Because it's that Chris Stuckmann thing, dude. It's like if you've been here long enough, you've established yourself, you have the authority to go and say what's wrong. People will listen to you. Mm-hmm. And your choice instead is to do the opposite of that and just act like everything's fine. The world is burning, and you're just standing there, and you're like, oh, it's all good. And you're the one person who could put out the fire. Like, you're the one.
Yeah.
You have the chance. And that's the part that I think is like the real crime is like because again, we need leaders. Like, you need people who are going to push this the other way.
You need people to be understanding. You need people that are...
Well, yeah, with genuine, like, emotional maturity and, like, recognition of the nuance of the topic.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
it's not simple.
Be understanding that, hey, I'm not... Well, for one, it happens for both sides. Like, you have to be understanding for somebody that you're telling the joke to, that they also know that you're not telling that joke specifically about them or to offend them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, God forbid that, you were... telling a one or no arm joke to a room that had one person with no arms.
Yeah.
And you're going like, I didn't know.
Yeah. But if you're at the one arm convention, maybe don't tell that joke.
Exactly. It's like, fuck you for making me feel bad that I didn't see that.
Right.
And
I think generally an audience knows that. It's just that when the
like
story we're being told is that you can't do that stuff, the waters get murky. Because audiences normally, like if a heckler speaks up and says, hey, you shouldn't have said that, I think generally an audience, they're on the comedian side, not the heckler.
Yeah.
But maybe not if you're at a certain club. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I think there was a moment that Joan Rivers offended a person that's like, I have a son that's deaf.
Yeah.
And she's, like, how the fuck do I know?
Right.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. It's like,
Well, and what do you know about my relationships with deaf people?
Yeah,
You're assuming I don't know any deaf people, that I hate deaf people because I made this joke. Like, what do you know about me?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like when they say, like, do you make a joke to make somebody laugh or did you say it out of malice? And that would be the most groundbreaking moment to know, is it a joke or is it something just out of hate speech?
Yeah.
But because people just really want to be outraged.
Yeah, and I think people don't assume people assume ill intent before they would assume otherwise. And more often than not, it's just plain ignorance. It's just plain, like, it's not hate. It's something else. Most of the time, you could jump to the worst conclusion, but often that's not the case. It's like getting mad at the guy who is rude to you, but really he's got 10 things going on in his life.
Right, and that's always what I was thinking, too, is like, if somebody's giving me an attitude, like I was saying earlier, it's like, if somebody gave me an attitude and they're having a bad day, but they usually don't.
Yeah.
First reaction should be not go at him.
It should be, why would he act like that?
Why would he act like that?
Why would anyone act like that?
Like, take a second to not just react and, think that, okay, I have to scold this motherfucker because he just went off on me. It's like, what happened?
Right.
You can literally go up to them and say, hey, what happened? Oh, yeah, this fucking, today's just been a bad day. They usually will tell you.
Yeah.
And then you can just go, oh, I just felt your wrath. You needed to vent. Got you.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, and I think people need to feel that way too. It's like when they go to see a comedy show, is to go like, they told me a joke. Well, all right, there we go.
Exactly.
Tell the fucking difference.
Exactly.
Tell the difference that this person wrote this joke down to perform it. I paid to see it get performed, and I had a couple opportunities to do a couple things. I could, one, not laugh at the joke, or laugh at the joke. I don't have to complain about the joke.
Right. I could just move on.
I can just move on.
Yeah.
I can be George Carlin and George Carlin saying, hey, remember when you can listen to the radio and turn it on or turn it off?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to listen to it, keep it on.
Yeah.
If you don't, turn it off.
But, like, in the vein of critique, I can even say what's wrong with the joke, but it's not effective for me to just say that the joke is bad and the joke shouldn't be told. Like,
Right.
That's the problem. Is if that's the take. If the take is, oh, you shouldn't say that. Like, because there is, you can say that there are bad jokes, because there are.
There are bad jokes.
There are a lot of bad jokes.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they're not.
But like, the problem is people just outright rejecting. Like, I always, even if I hear a bad joke, I try to see the idea in it. Like, okay, so but what were they? Like, why were they? Because again, it's that same thing where there's something buried in there, and like if you just outright reject it, you're never gonna see that.
I mean, like when we were kids, or I mean, this is even before us. Is like, you know, when you hear those jokes start off with like, you know, there's an Asian guy, black guy, and a Jew on a boat.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, or in an airplane. You know that joke's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah.
For one, when you hear somebody telling that joke, you can also say like, do I want to hang out with people like this? Or also prepare myself that, you know, because I mean, prepare yourself to like be like, okay, this could be an offensive joke,
Right.
and you can, after it, you can either laugh because it was funny, or you can even just go boo, you know, because it can tell the other person that's telling the joke that, hey, maybe you don't tell that joke to me anymore because it wasn't funny, or hey, maybe stop telling those certain jokes because they're a little
Yeah.
But I feel people are scared to even just talk to people too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you feel like you know, like a keyboard tough guy that you can comment on somebody's shit, but you can't say it to their face.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, stop being a pussy. Fucking tell them that was offensive, and explain why.
Right.
Explain why was it offensive to you, because that's the thing. They can't really explain why it was offensive.
Right.
Because it's like, you know, okay, that joke made me offended because of what?
Well, they would probably say, if I had to guess, like stereotypes. They would say the stereotypes that the joke perpetuates.
Right, but that's not you.
Yeah.
So it's like, stop making it about you.
Yeah.
You know, there's a big, you know, epidemic of narcissism.
I think that these people have an idea, though, that like they really think that if they just stamp the idea out with you, like that the idea is you, and that you are a vehicle for this idea, and by you telling that joke, that you have strengthened the idea and spread it into the universe. And the only correct response I can have is to.
It's like being a history teacher.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you're an asshole for knowing it.
Yeah.
It's not the way I wanted to hear it.
Yeah. And I think there, again, like we were saying earlier about humility, it lacks humility. For you to think that way lacks humility, because you're assuming that you know what's happening.
Right.
You probably don't.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we don't know.
Yeah.
Most of the time, there's way more going on than we understand. And just starting from there is way better than, oh, well, I know exactly what he was thinking when he said that. Like, how the fuck do you know? You don't know what you're thinking when you say things.
Yeah.
You're telling me you know what other people are thinking? I just refuse it. And I think it's reductive. I think that what it becomes is reductive, because how do you know? Like, if I just sat here and assumed to know what everyone's thinking, how would I ever learn? I saw Maynard James Keenan say on, I think it was like second or third appearance on Joe Rogan, he said that to make
You watched that show?
yeah, right. We better cancel this podcast. I didn't realize
this episode's over. Sorry, I gotta. Hey, can you get a reel of me walking out the door, unplugging everything?
Yeah, that actually probably make the episode do numbers.
This is the ruse walkout.
The walkout, my first walkout. But he said that to make, like, just in between making music and in between making art, he feels like he has to get input to make better output. And that's, it's just that you need that input. And if I sat here and thought I knew, there's no input. It's all output.
And it's
all noise.
It's so crazy. Like when people talk about Joe Rogan, you watch his show. It's honestly not even remotely. It's like, it's just a conversation, and sometimes it's actually really good.
People make it out to be like some sort of state propaganda.
And it's like, it's not. It's just, wow.
Well, I've been a fan of Joe Rogan since like 2016, so it's crazy to see how the public opinion has changed.
I never liked Joe Rogan, even like Fear Factor days.
I just think I think what he people. I've never been a big fan of his comedy. I've never been a big fan of anything but his podcast. But I just think that what he does, people don't even really understand it. They don't even know what he's doing. Well, they talk about him like they could never be him. They could never do the things he's doing, but they act as if they know what's going on.
But like, you know, when you hear him talk on a podcast, it's like, you know, wow, me and you are kind of similar on these thoughts. Or man, me and you kind of think the same way.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to like necessarily always agree on it, but it's like, it's interesting when you find yourself actually agreeing.
Yeah.
Because like, when you set your mind to like, whatever they say, I'm gonna fucking hate them. If I ever had that kind of mindset, like, don't get me wrong, I was, talking about a few people earlier that like, if they do something, I get very like, you piss me off all the time.
Right.
But that's personal because it's like, I actually know what pisses me off about you. It's kind of like knowing a family member that you've dealt with them so much that you're like, if they do this again, I'm just going to be like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's been so constant. But when somebody like you don't even really listen to, like, let's say Joe Rogan, for example, and you just get outraged because somebody else told you to be.
Yeah.
It's like, listen to it.
Yeah.
Listen to it for yourself.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you might actually learn something out of it.
Yeah.
I just, I get very confused on, because especially, keep going back with the improv world. The improv world.
You gotta hold that. I gotta pee again. I've drank so much coffee.
I'm like on the same level with you on that. Maybe we can wrap.
Oh, yeah.
At 3 or something, or next 5 minutes.
So
I guess my guys are like, oh, we're only going to be at this place until 4. It's like, okay.
What we're at?
So I'm jumping into trying out this new band. We've done shows together back in the day, but now it's like, this might be a new project that I'm doing, maybe, just seeing how it goes. But I'm just like, I guess they only have like an hour that they're in that building from 3 to 4. I'm like, usually it's like, until like 5 o'clock or something, but.
All right. Well, to wrap up what we were saying before, because I don't want to lose that train of thought. I think that one thing I've observed is no one looks at like the source of anything. No one's used to that anymore. And I think it's the internet's done that. Like, people will read an article title and think they know something.
Yeah.
They don't even read the article, and the article is also not the source.
Right.
The article leads you somewhere else, and then
and
somewhere
then you get
else.
all these different ads, and then you get all this other bullshit that you look up.
And it used to be books. Books used to be the source. It used to be you could read a book and you would have this big, intimate understanding of something because you spent the time with it. Now it's like we think we know things because we saw a glimpse of something or someone said something about something, and it's crazy how prevalent that is.
Right.
People who hate a movie, they've never seen the movie. They've heard people say the movie's bad. They've never seen it. People hate Joe Rogan. They would probably get along with Joe Rogan. They probably would agree with 90% of what he says, but they've never listened to him for more than 60 seconds. They've only heard the boogeyman version of it.
It's like, that's really like, like I just showed my girlfriend the movie The Crucible. Like, literally as soon as Abigail Williams says that, that person's a witch, the whole town believes it. It's like, fuck, what's your proof?
Right.
Like you're making this up.
Yeah.
And then somebody just, it just becomes a witch trial. And it's like, okay, now that person is evil because I said so.
Yeah.
But you have no proof, no nothing. Just, okay, whatever you say, we have to go with.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody that really has that, because I mean, like, I love the metal and punk scene that, we're not conformists. But anything that, like, who the fuck in the punk scene was starting to go like, okay, we're totally for a politician.
Right.
When the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
When did like punk rock and heavy metal become like, yeah, we're voting for this person? It's like, you're against this. You shouldn't be like applauding and then saying, oh, you're a bad person because you don't do this. It's
hip hop too. I think hip hop it's inherently countercultural.
Because
when I see hip hop do that, I'm like, do you guys even understand what we signed up for when we started this?
Like they would be tearing those politicians apart. They'd be tearing all these people that make the rules apart.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you signing up with them?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not an anarchist. I'm not like, a one-sider. I'm very middleist. I like to think I like to hear what people have to say, and I like to do my own research too. And that's, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And like, with being somebody that was in, like I said, in the comedy scene, seeing this for like firsthand, to see how one second we were joking and laughing about this, and then the next second we are now losing our jobs. We're now, being called something we never were called before, and it's not even true. And then just watching it all just like disperse. Like, I mean, it was a crazy time in 2016. Like, it was. I saw a lot of my friends that were in the comedy scene at that time. It was like, that was the year everything just died.
Yeah, and I don't think there was ever a
It's
true
almost been 10 years.
correction. Like, there's never been a correction. It's just kind of been spiraling ever since.
Ever since 2016, it's never been the same. I mean, I went to go see Messing with a Friend at the Annoyance, which was hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, Susan Messing is Susan Messing. She's going to be amazing. Rachel Mason's going to be amazing. But like when you go to see these new comics and you go,
yeah,
that's not really in any way, shape, or form funny or even like engaging
or risky.
Yeah, it's not even risky. It's just like you're talking. One of my favorite comedians I saw recently was saying like, I fucking hate bullies. Bullies are fucking pieces of shit. Fuck them if they're not with me. Blah blah blah. But my ex-boyfriend, he's such a small dick piece of shit. Like I want him to see this video just so he knows that he's got a small dick and I hated him and I'm doing so much better than you are now.
Was it ironic?
And just like looking at like, was that the joke that you say you don't like bullying, but you're bullying your ex?
Yeah.
And you're the one who's saying like, I'm over him. No, you're not. You're still talking about him.
Yeah.
It's like you are the epitome of a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And why are your friends supporting this? Why are your friends not telling you, hey Pam, and I don't know if it's her name, but just going like, hey, you're a hypocrite.
Right.
Why are you not calling that out?
Yeah.
Like you just literally are talking about, I hate bullies, they're so mean. And then you're bullying your ex that's not even in the room.
Uh-huh.
And you're telling this to like 200 people in the room just that don't know him, and you're bashing him and you're saying him by his name.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's like,
is it even comedy anymore?
Is it even comedy, or you're just like, you have the microphone so you feel like you could say whatever you want?
Yeah.
I mean, how we feel right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but
This
you don't
gives
want
us so much power.
You don't want to lose the plot though. Like with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Shout out my boy Spooderman.
Yeah.
Well, man, at the very end of the show, we do a special thing always. So, one, a message for the children, all right? You got to give the kids a message. They've been listening to this. They think we're two smart dudes who know a lot about the world. They're like, whoa, these guys are real adults, and they've got it figured out. And so we're going to prove it to them now with your final piece of knowledge or nugget of information to give to the kids, your little slice of wisdom that you're going to slide onto their plate, and they're going to get off that school bus and they're going to live life better because of what you said. And then second, the social medias, where they can find you, where they can see you on their screen in formats other than this podcast. You're going to tell them all those places, the things they can type in and the places they can type them in. Sir, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you can find me under Stevo Nystrom on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and
Stevo, Stevo. No Steve dash O.
No, just
we ain't about that fucking.
Stevo.
No tattoo of my face on my back.
Stevo.
We're talking
for all my Serbian listeners.
Serbian, yeah. Shout out my Serbs out here.
Yeah, all my Uber drivers.
Yeah.
That were so excited that I came into your car.
All your disappointed Uber drivers.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, just for the listeners, that all of my Serbian Uber drivers are so happy when I come and they're like, "Oh, Stevo, you're from Serbia." No. That ride is always now the most awkward thing on the way back because they don't want to talk to me anymore.
Yeah, you're an imposter.
They're like, I wanted to speak Serbian to you.
But anyway, the social medias.
But yeah, and you can also listen to Nystrodamus on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming sites, and Kino Crew Productions on YouTube. And on all the socials of Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And get ready for Gobblehead 4 coming out this coming week.
Oh, shit. Well, as this podcast comes out, yeah, it'll be like right around. So as we speak, you guys can probably go see Gobblehead 4 right now.
You can see all the Gobbleheads right now, but Gobblehead 4 will be out, I think, on the the day of Thanksgiving or the Friday after. But a piece of advice is, I would say, definitely don't surrender laughing. Keep laughing, because I mean, honestly, if you stop laughing, you're just gonna start crying. And it's one thing to have people telling you what's funny and what's not funny. Take a second to look at what is funny. Like, take a second to see if somebody telling you that's not funny, question that. Question why is it not funny. But also eat gluten-free.
That's not funny.
Why?
Yeah, why? We'll discuss that next time, folks. Here on Radio.
God damn, that was impressive. That was fucking cool.
Clocking out.
Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's apparent his caricature is lost in the mess. It's hysterical, the picture that they put to his face. It's a confidence administered to earn their respect. Live a little, light a candle.